the back corner when I'm not presenting.
Listening in.
And listen in.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Bass University Live here on Tuesday night.
Take a quick break. Watch John Cruz's on the Tokyo rig.
Be a part of the show. Get some chances to win some awesome prizes.
As fast as you go. You know, we didn't have that back then. And dude, it could just...
That text thread gives me so much energy. I mean, like I'm dialed.
University Live. Good to have you guys with us here on Tuesday night. It's going to be a great show. We're going to be talking with David Williams, who is on the banks of Lake Norman, live from the Open's Southern Edition, on the precipice of qualifying for the elites yet again, and it's just the absolute hammer, and certainly force to be reckoned with on Lake Norman, and certainly that part of the country and elsewhere too. So we're going to be talking about power fishing with him, guys. Look forward to that, and hang in there with us for that. Get your questions ready for Dave, and he's going to be with us here in a little while. In the meantime, we're hanging out with GDP. How are you, man?
Good, Petey. Doing good.
Good to have you in house.
Yeah, you said the word precipice?
Precipice.
That's a new word for me. Reminds me of Brian's shirt.
Yes. The chartreuse precipice.
Yes.
What any other big words we could have? He looks good in his new Gills gear. Good to have you with us, BTC. You're looking sharp. Riz, you too.
All right. Well, find a shot here. Here it goes, everybody. And action.
Now you see.
Look at that.
Now you see us.
All the colors.
Styling and profiling.
It's like Fire Tiger.
It does look like Fire Tiger.
You would catch a pickerel tonight for sure.
Dude, it's got like an orange belly on your elbow there.
Freaking yellow perch.
Keying on the
Dude.
orange
December
belly.
perch.
Put a feather on the back of that thing. You're like a rooster tail.
Well, we can see you from a long way away, but we're good to have you right here with us, and it's good to have you. What's going on with everybody, man? I didn't get to talk to everybody. Did you guys get out fishing this weekend?
I did. I fished a club tournament with my dad on one of Greg's stomping grounds out there at Sunset Lake. Got on a weird bite, Pete. The water was what I would consider to be pretty stained, muddy water still from some recent rains, and it was almost 80 degrees. Only thing I could catch them on was a jerkbait.
On stained water.
Stained
Love
water,
it.
hot water.
Yeah.
Fished the bottom baits all morning, nothing, and picked up the old Vision 110 and was able to scrounge up a little limit for second and lunker. So it was a fun day on the water.
That is awesome, man. Jerkbait fishing in the hot water temperatures.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got seminars about that all the time. Jerkbaits, KVD, talking about it, not just for the cold water seasons, and you prove that. But we do have the cold water season coming on, and the jerkbait bite's going to be really getting fired up for all of us here pretty soon. So that was cool. Did you fish this weekend, BTC?
I did not.
Wow,
I did
a rare
work type
weekend
stuff.
off.
Yeah, I'm fishing a 2-day on Nakamixon this weekend, and I can't freaking wait. That's all I can think about.
A 2-day.
Yes.
Wow. What are they going to be doing? They're going to be deep? They're going to be shallow? Are they going to be in the grass?
What? Straight braid? Get out of here.
What? Come on.
We'll see.
Oh, are you talking about
He's being sneaky right
glide? Glide?
Glide baits? No.
Glide live?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so. Nah.
I saw our boy, by the way, at the Open, Oliver Nye.
Okay.
Yeah, he's so cool. It's always good to run into him.
Always smiling.
Always smiling.
Yep.
Good to see you, buddy. And
Yep.
he was with us. Also, go check out his big swim baits. It's amazing.
Big.
Amazing what he's done catching a 17-pounder from cast to catch, as well as we have professional fish head hanging out with us. from down in Georgia. Almost forgot, Jay. We got so many people in the house. I forgot that we had you over there on Zoom, JK. But we got to have you. How you doing, man?
Oh, it's great to be here, man. It's just couldn't be more perfect timing to have this show tonight. There I was. I'm sitting there about 11 o'clock. I got the smallest limit possible in the boat on Sunday. I jumped in a little team derby, and I've got the spinning rod in my hand. And I just was like, oh, this isn't going to do it today. So I busted it upriver, and I only coaled up to about 9 or 10 pounds or so, but it felt good to put a flipping stick in my hand and jack them with 20-pound test rather than the spinning rod. So I'm excited to talk a little power fishing. I got my brains beat in by the boys on the bottom end of the lake. I probably should have joined them this weekend, but I was happy with my decision. And it was good, man. It was good to get a bait caster with that heavy line, pitching short, targets and stuff. I'm ready to talk about it tonight. I'm so sick of the drop shot and the Ned rig. Like, come on, let's go.
It has been the dominant force. Once it gets hot summer, it seems like that's what you got to do to survive sometimes. So, but we saw it on the Potomac too. The winner of the Toyota series on the Potomac is punching and frogging and just all power fishing. So here we go, man. It's power season.
Yeah, let's go.
Power
get
season.
It going.
What's up with you, GDP? You're home from the tour.
I am.
Are you fishing? Did you fish this weekend or?
Yeah, I did a guided trip this weekend.
Okay.
I took Kelly out fishing and just let her catch fish.
Yeah, I'm talking about.
My little John boat, I got it pretty hooked up. I got Mega Live on there, and I swoop it around this one spot. I said, oh, there they are. And she started to catch them on Ned rig. It's pretty cool.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Mega Live on the tin rig, huh?
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, she's got 360s. She's got it all. She's loaded.
Is it her boat?
She might think so, but it's not. It's my little dream rig. That's what it is.
That's cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I was down, saw your boys' spring garden on the banks of the Maurice River.
Oh, yeah.
I always think of you when I go down there. I'm like, me and you are like the only two people that like fishing that place.
I love that place.
I do too.
It's been fishing really good.
Is that true?
Giants.
Burn it to the ground.
No kidding.
Yeah, real good.
Wow.
Where do you launch out of?
Fowler Avenue.
What is it?
Fowler Avenue.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I talked to Brian like 2 weeks ago. I probably had 7.
Is that the one near where South Jersey Boat Works was?
Yeah, not far.
That ramp?
Well, no.
Oh, okay.
They weren't ever on the actual river, but
No, but it was like South Jersey Boat Works is down the street from
correct.
that. Gotcha.
Yep, Orange Street. Yep.
Maurice River.
Yeah, cool place.
Have you gone back up into Mananico lately? Can you still do it?
You can with a small boat.
Okay.
A little tiny 10 rig can get up there no problem, like a 14, 15 foot. It's changed a lot. There used to be a small channel that ran through before you got to the trestle. Now there's a big giant sandbar there now. So if you can get over that sandbar, then you got to get over top of 2-3 trees and you're in.
Gotcha.
No kidding.
Yep.
It changes so much.
It does. It's amazing.
Yeah.
All the storms coming down, all that good stuff, and just washes stuff out, or makes it worse. One of the two.
Speaking of washing stuff out, man, you fished at Chesapeake. I fished there a lot, obviously, and all the trees have been rearranged.
Oh yeah.
So all your waypoints, you have to go check them.
You mean out on the flat?
Out on the flat, on the like in Northeast River.
Really?
If you go up into
up top there, yeah.
Yeah, the Northeast Creek, it's like it's like everything's been gouged and moved and displaced, and there was a couple full-size trees that were brand new this year that eroded and were placed out on the flat, and I don't know where they're at now, but they're somewhere.
Scary.
They're somewhere on the bottom waiting for 5-pounders to school on them,
or somebody's lower unit.
Somebody's lower
One or
unit.
the other. You know what I
That's-
mean, we'll find it.
That's one way to find it. We're good at that. But boy, Ida just unloaded on our region as well as many others, and it just it's amazing what the volume of water. It took 2 weeks for that water to get processed through the Conowingo Dam.
Really? Wow.
It was like 2 weeks before it finally started to back off the throttle. It was amazing stuff. But Mother Nature, she's a powerful
That Mother Nature, let me tell you.
Well, speaking of which, if your stuff is sitting out in Mother Nature, you need to get yourself an Empire cover. We have an amazing discount at Bass University. I want you to go check it out. What is it? It's 15% off.
15% off.
Use the code BASSU21 at EmpireCovers.com. Whether you have your boat, jet ski, watercraft, whatever you use, camper, we've got a cover for it. Go over to Empire Covers and take care of your gear. We've got the fall season coming on. The leaves are going to be falling.
Yeah.
And here we get a lot of the leaves. They're always, you got to get that cover on there. Them leaves, they get in the compartments and they mess with you all fall long. So.
Yep. Hey, shout out to one of our subscribers and friends of the Bass University. He just took advantage of the promo code for 15% off Empire Covers and bought his Empire cover today. Our pal Bob Rutherford getting ready for those leaves, just like you're talking about.
Excellent.
So shout out to Bob. Got his Empire cover on order.
Well, thank you, Bob, for taking advantage of that. And I just want to recognize now how the Eagles put the beat down on the Atlanta Falcons.
Not cool,
Bob. I happen to know he's an Atlanta Falcons fan. And I want to give a big thank you to Brad and Berkeley and Pure Fishing, because I was the fortunate recipient of some little generals. I know I talked about it on the last show, but caught every single one of my fish up at Thousand Islands on the little general Ned rig. So it was just an awesome tool. So thank you, Brad.
Yeah, thanks, Brad.
Yep.
Hey, Brad.
Riz, what else do we got going on tonight?
Yeah, tonight, Pete, actually, we got a few things going on. As always, we're giving away two $25 Gills Gear gift cards for some questions that we bring on the show. Any other questions that we use tonight in the show as well? We're going to be giving away some Bass U shirts for anybody's questions we bring in. But two of the questions we choose will be getting $25 Gills Gear gift cards. Tonight's grand prize question at the end of the show is a $100 TH Marine electronic gift card. So we're going to be giving that away at the end of the show. And guys, you got to be a Bass U TV subscriber to have a shot at that. So if you want to get signed up, now's a great time. Just head over to bassu.tv, use the code BULive30, and you can get signed up 30 days for free, no questions asked. Get full access to our entire website. And also, at the end of the show, there's going to be a Facebook like and share, which will be a $50 prize pack from all of our great sponsors over here at BU. And, guys, if you haven't checked it out yet, be sure to head over to the website and check out the member benefits. It literally pays for itself to be a Bass University subscriber. We're talking about 40% off at companies like Rapala. We got deals with Cashin, Missile Baits, Gills Gear, Sea Clear Power, TH Marine, Empire Covers, Rod Warrior, all kinds of great stuff going on, guys. When you're a Bass University TV subscriber, we want to help you save money on the gear, and we want to help you catch more big bass. So don't wait. Go get signed up tonight.
Go get signed up. We just launched Caleb Summerall's Chatterbait versus Swim Jig seminar. We're fresh off of Lee Livesey. Is all about why you always have a frog tied on. And it's so key this time of year. So many amazing pieces of content available that we're releasing every single week. I worked with a training customer, Greg, at this week out on the Chesapeake, and he is the owner of 40 Cashin fishing rods.
Jeez.
Just me.
Yeah.
Is that more than you, JK? It's more than me.
That's quite a few.
Yeah, it's he's one of. What's that, JK?
About 8 more.
About 8 more. Hey, you're in the ballpark, but no, he's rabid Bass University subscriber. Appreciate him being part of our program and taking advantage of the on-water training, and loves his casting fishing rods. So we went out and we worked on pitching and flipping and cranking on the upper Chesapeake Bay.
Nice.
Cranking.
It's almost fall crankbait time.
I was going to say, it's getting close to that.
It's getting close.
Probably just go flipping.
Probably.
You know, one thing that's like not looked at anymore that's really good in the fall is a -1.
Ooh.
Right?
A lot of guys, look past that, don't even think about it. That's a good bait.
Man.
Yeah.
Do you use that? On the Potomac, it's like world famous.
Is it? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like that's where I learned how to fish it. But I don't use it that much elsewhere. Do you?
Yeah, I mean, around here I use it a lot.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not thought about that often. We talked about it a couple shows ago. One of our guys, Andre Aubernaz, he sent me a few or 17 -1 pictures of them in the DMs. It's really not thought about that much anymore. But it absolutely, for shallow grass, shallow water fishing,
It's good.
wood. I mean, you get the same action or close to the same action as a square bill, but it's only going, half the depth. So
I had a long conversation with Epic Eric on Saturday about the -1.
You only need 2 colors, in my opinion.
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, chartreuse, copper perch is it.
Who? What?
Chartreuse and what?
Copper perch.
Copper perch.
Huh.
They're 2 colors.
What about down south, JK? Is that a common bait down south at any point in the year? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I talked about on that show kind of my experience with it was like this time of year with like fish start moving and start funneling back, and they're not relating to anything but bait, but they're going to do it out in the creek channel, like over 6 to 10 foot of water, and you can burn that thing up near the top for those kind of bait chasers in dirty water and catch them. But yeah, I know about it being up there for like the Bay and the Potomac and, all the tidal stuff, because you can just do that skinny water stuff, but I haven't experienced it up in that manner. But yeah, I've caught a lot of biggest, and honestly, it's not the baby for me as much as it is that regular size, which is a pretty big profile.
Yeah.
I know
It is.
Pete's referred to it as the light bulb.
The light bulb.
Before.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that was designed on Lake Eufaula, right? That's
Right.
where it was originally designed. But I love using that real big one, and there's certain conditions when it's a player, but it's generally the smaller one that everybody goes to.
That's what I throw.
Yeah.
Yeah, so part of that really long conversation I had with Epic Eric, he was talking about, of course, the evolution of the bait and, how when a company grows and then they outsource to China and they completely screw the whole body of the bait up. So as he's telling me about it, I'm like, oh, man, let me go dig them out and spread them all out on my boat and started looking for the double stamp, which had, man's on one side and baby 1- on the other side. And that's the older style, and they're supposedly the better ones. And then started looking through some of the others and like hold them up, completely different size, just
bet.
the bait changed.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So look for them double stamps or them copper rings.
Good
Right?
to know.
Yeah, I got some of them.
I bet you do.
I remember the Potomac River was won by, up in Broad Creek. I can't say his name right now, but he was dipping the chartreuse or the white 1- in chartreuse dye.
Chartreuse or copper perch,
And-
baby.
Yeah, and that's how he won the tournament. Oh gosh, I cannot believe he's been multi-tournament winner, super champion. But Dan Moorhead,
Well done, Pete.
did that.
Way to redeem yourself.
Yes, thank you very much.
Will on the message board said that the bone color on the Potomac is the ish in the baby 1-.
I believe it.
I believe it is.
I don't know if I've found a place ever where bone color doesn't
Third
work.
color.
Need a third color. Thank you.
Something about that color.
Yep.
But I just want to give a shout out to TH Marine. I was busy with TH Marine, thankfully, on Thousand Islands during the Open. Busy with the culling beam and G-Juice, which really, all my smallmouth, I made it. I was 20 miles out in the lake, went out, came back, weighed. All my fish were perfectly juiced and ready to be released. So just shout out to TH Marine as well as Sea Clear Power. Powering up my hummingbirds, my 360 just really helped me catch a lot of those fish. And, my systems just don't burn up the electricity and just no interference. Amazing weapon. If you're investing in that, in all this advanced electronics, get yourself a dedicated wiring harness. Sea Clear Power builds the best, and it's going to help your units work incredibly well, no matter the condition you put them in, even when you run them 20 miles through 4- and 5-foot waves like crazy people.
Yeah.
I love it. And you know what? I also want to give a shout out to the Bass Cat Cougar and its ability to negotiate those waves. I mean,
I love the verbiage. To negotiate my way. It's just so efficient. I negotiate my way through the waves.
because you cannot dictate to Lake Ontario. You have to have a negotiation with Lake Ontario to be able to get from one spot to the other. It's but that cougar is just so amazing. When you come out of the throttle, it nose goes up, and when you need it to move, it spins on a dime, and you can turn into the troughs when they get real big. Which they always do. You get these big three, like you might be 4, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, you know, and you got to be able to drive around them. Just a tremendous weapon to be able to run in the big water as well as lightning quick. So shout out to Basscat for building the Basscat Cougar.
Yeah, and they also, if you do scoop one, they pump the water out really quick. I learned that. I learned that last weekend out on the river. I was trailing one of the big boats that probably is carrying like 9 million cars on it, and it's sending off these waves that are the size of a house. And I was trying to time it. I got up a little bit too close to it, and when I made my bounce, from wave to wave, didn't time it right, and I scooped one real good. Yeah, got a good bath.
Was your girlfriend in the boat with you?
No, but my dog was.
Oh.
And the dog was not happy. He was actually drinking water off the floor of my boat after.
That's awesome.
After that happened, so
it's funny. That's Jake's favorite pastime is we
Scoop
take
waves.
Out, yeah, well, we try not to scoop them, but he wants to get as much height as possible.
Yeah.
So we chase the freighters around and jump them.
Yeah, nice.
What do you got, BTC?
A little shout out to Thomas Sevcik on YouTube. He caught his PB largemouth the other day, a 611 on the old school Deep Runner 08 perch, Rapala Deep Runner.
Nice.
In perch.
Wow.
That's an old school bait. Anthony Geist wants to know if Empire makes toilet seat covers for on the road situations.
Might be a good idea.
We can modify.
And Williams is going to be here at the top of the hour, right around whatever the top of your hour is.
BTC, we taking a break, or are we going to roll right into talking to GDP?
No, let's hit that commercial break.
Okay.
I look like a chartreuse spinnerbait. All right, yeah.
Hey, guys, get over and get subscribed to Bass U TV. Do it right now. This is a great time to catch up, to do your studies. I know a lot of guys are going hunting, going back to football, but now is the time to get yourself studied up and prepared for your tournament season. Or if you're like us, we never stop. So get yourself over to bassu.tv. Get yourself subscribed. We will be right back with some more right after this.
AquaView, the leader in underwater viewing technology. Find what you are looking for. Catch more fish. Have more fun. AquaView. Seeing is believing.
Why do you love catching fishing rods?
I'm truly losing less fish.
Is the sensitivity of the rod.
That they're made right here in North Carolina in the USA.
Strongest, lightest rod, 100% made here in Sanford, North Carolina.
From the drop shot rod to the flipping stick. Every rod has a purpose to it, and I rely on them all the time when I'm out there in a tournament.
Durability in the John Cruz Worman series, the counterbalancing in the handle.
It's the only rod I found that can withstand my hook set. Boom goes the dynamite.
We're different. Some would say obsessed. There's no place on earth we'd rather be than right here, right now. Performance-driven gear, so you can fish longer, harder. Gill's Performance Fishing.
2021 Red Crest champion Dustin Connell here, and if you watch live coverage, we just got done at Lake Eufaula. I caught my fish using the active target with Lowrance. What you didn't see is I run a Sea Clear power harness in my boat. One of the main advantages of running this harness is it does not drain my batteries down at all running my 4 units. And what that's going to allow me to do is I'm able to see my bait at 8 a.m. just as good late in the day. Y'all check them out at seaclearpower.com.
You take pride in your boat, so it deserves the best protection possible. Our durable woven fabric prevents ripping and provides UV protection, and our tape seams provide protection against the elements. The heavy-duty shock cord hem and strap and buckle system provide a tight and secure fit, Our top-of-the-line boat covers come with a ventilation system to keep your boat free from mold buildup. Empire Covers, protecting what you love.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Bass University Live. It's so fun to be back in studio. Everybody's here. JK is hanging with us on Zoom, and we've got a great guest, David Williams, coming on with us here in just a little while. Just a power fishing phenom, a hammer, live from the Open, the Southern Open on Lake Norman, and on Rich, the precipice of qualifying.
The precipice
once again for the Bassmaster Elite. So hang in there for that. And I know we got a lot of people watching and over on YouTube and Facebook. And bring your questions in, guys. We use them all on the air. We're going to hook you up with some cool stuff. And I know BTC, you got some things over there. What do you got for us?
Dan Handcuff says, Pete, what brand gasoline do you rely on to power your tournament hopes, Peter?
Yeah, it's funny. I don't affiliate with a brand. Yeah, right?
Coffee, that's right.
Coffee wherever I can get it. And the 80, I will say this, the Yamaha, wants the plus. So I always make sure that my octane is, 89 or up to operate that outboard. And it's been phenomenal, honestly. That Yamaha has been just absolute bulletproof. Through all the big water.
And what prop have you been running lately?
I run the 25-inch prop on my 250 for the 20-foot, Cougar. The 26 is going to give you your ultimate speed out of the boat. But for me, especially like in the big water, man, I have the TH Marine Atlas jack plate, hydraulic jack. I put that all the way down. I use the 25-inch prop. And no cavitation navigating all that big water. And that's the reason why I do it. I want to get the nose up when I want it up, and I want to keep that prop wet. And that 25 I found to be flawless. Now, Mike had dropped down to the 24-inch.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, and he did that just for the sole purpose of bite, being able to, navigate that rough water, keeping the prop wet. But I found, man, I'm cool with the 25. That did well.
JK, what are you running?
I ran the 25, but honestly, I was going from the back of the boat to the front. I was boat stupid, going from a 92 Dynatrack to the Cougar, same package that you guys are running. And I just asked Ike what he was running, and he told me 25, so I got the 25. So that's good to hear, Pete. I'm thinking about putting a couple of tournaments on my schedule that might get a little rougher than what I'm used to down here at Lanier and Hartwell. So that's good to hear that you're liking the 25.
How many prop changes do you make in a year, Greg, from lake to lake? Or
I usually don't change them.
Huh.
I run a 24 across the board.
Really?
Yep.
Even when Kelly's in the boat?
I can go to a 25 higher. Really poor hair back.
24, huh?
All right.
And that's just for hole shot.
The Mercury's,
control.
I know Yamaha's got an awesome hole shot. Mercury's got a good hole shot. It's got a great top end on a 24 pitch. Even in big waves, I can push right through them, no problem.
Yeah. Hole shot. That's another advantage of going down in prop size is it's going to give you the hole shot that you're looking for with full live wells. Two big guys in the boat. So you can drag getting out of the water. So that going down in pitch is going to get you up and out of the hole a lot better.
Yep.
So
for sure.
Right on.
What you got?
Oh, two more quick things. Again, a special shout out to Andre for sending Rich all them pictures. He loves them. Keep them coming. and also Ohio Bassmasters. As a matter of fact, Alex, get his information. He wins a Bass University shirt, 3X. Hope you're a big guy. I don't want to hear ish about Pete's Senko tonight if we dig into shallow power fishing. Round of applause, everybody. Come on,
Come on, man. Woo! What do you mean? You can flip that Senko on a big rod.
I know, but we don't want to hear about it all damn night.
Cross their heads.
We want skirts and stuff. Something.
I didn't catch one fish in Elites this year on a Senko. Not one.
What?
Yep.
Oh, my goodness.
I just looked at the schedule just for amp myself. But, yeah, I never even really threw it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, to me, that's crazy, But
it is crazy to think about.
Well, you've got to have a bait that fills that.
Here we go. Sorry.
Genre.
Bassmaster.
I mean, how many did you catch on a drop shot, though?
A lot.
Yeah.
A ton.
Yeah. That's funny. You and I differ that way because I just got done fishing the Great Lakes and I made 2 casts with a drop shot. Like, just.
He's a small percentage.
And I have not thrown the drop shot all season. I don't make a single throw with it. You don't see you're doing with the drop shot what I do with the Senko.
Agree.
It's interesting.
Agree.
Yep.
Yeah.
But hey, you had a great year this year,
Wasn't
man.
bad.
You spent another year out on the Elites.
You did.
And man, there was some culling going on this year on the Elites. We
was.
lost some Chris Grow. We lost some guys that, man, love those guys, talented anglers. But they're cycled through. They got to requalify. But you qualified along with all the other top guys, and congratulations, man. That in itself is huge.
It is. I mean, this year a lot of people don't know. So last year with COVID, there was no cuts.
Yeah.
So this year, unfortunately, they did a double cut. They cut 22 guys this year, which is a huge number if you think about it. There's only 100 guys total.
Yeah, 20% of the field.
Yeah, so that's a giant number.
Yeah.
They're working to get back down to a smaller field. So next year we're going to be at 90 total instead of 100.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I'm happy I made
the first round.
Trust me. So next year should, I think, go back to normal, to where it goes into the points now. So these last 3 years was averages. So whoever got cut, the average was I think 60 or higher points wise.
Okay.
With the averages. So next year should go back, I believe, to if it's going to be top 65, top 70, the points automatically requires. Then from there it goes to averages again. Right. There's a whole system they have to keep you alive, longer than just a couple years. The way they do it.
Okay.
So it's actually beneficial to a fisherman, honestly.
Where do they want to head though? Are they going to 50 guys?
No, I think their ultimate goal is 80. That's what I think.
Okay.
Just from what I've heard. But 90 is a great number. I think it probably should still be 100. I mean, it's the Elite Series. There's only 100 people. That's not that many.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's. I didn't really see what the right whiteboard said. Did you?
I thought, yeah, we're good. yeah. So yeah.
Talking about you, Pete.
Yeah.
Talking about don't talk about the Senko. Is that what it said?
It did actually. Black Senko. Yeah. So I'm excited to fish another year. Hopefully it's a lot more than one more year. Hopefully it's a ton more years. Hopefully it's a whole career. Honestly.
Yeah.
It's very. I mean it's very tough out there. It's not easy. Like I just said, there's 100 guys. I mean. There's not really much room for error, and I'm not talking about error on your own part. I mean, there's so many variables, as a fisherman. We all the guys here, we all know. It's just like to have it go your way is so crazy. I mean, look at Seth Fighter. He had a perfect year, basically. Just an incredible year. And yeah, it's just even hard to fathom to make sure that every single thing you do is the right decision all the way through all 9 events.
It's impossible.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
You got to have some. You got to have a little stuff go your way.
A lot of stuff,
like you said. Yep. Because a lot of stuff. It seems like, man, there's times out there where everything's fighting you.
Yep.
And no matter what you do, it's like you have an uphill battle.
My last 2 years have felt that way.
Yeah.
I prepare myself the best I possibly can, and man, Mother Nature takes over, or I go left instead of right. Just something stupid. Just the smallest increment, just the smallest move is a difference maker at this level. It really is.
Sure.
It's crazy, but man, just keep on going, keep on learning, and keep on digging.
Well, let's take us through it.
Well,
I'm sorry, JK. What do you got?
Well, I was just gonna say, if there's one thing we know about Greg, it's he's good at finishing in the money, right? Like, dude, you had a good year.
Yeah.
And you yourself said, yeah, it was pretty good. But, no, you had a good year. You made some checks, a lot of checks. But you never had that, top 10 or, that tournament. What I want to know, and I know you're going to walk us through, but I'm looking at a lot of different checks here from your season. A lot of finishes from 20th place to 40th place, a lot of 20s and 30s and stuff.
Yep.
So what I want to know is – I don't know how many you just stormed in during the tournament, or what tournament this year were you the closest,
dude,
to
I think
like storming the top 12 and knocking that thing down? But you might have settled in the money or whatever. Maybe it wasn't a check event. I don't know.
So these last 3 years, there has been one event out of every 9 for the last 3 years that I thought I had an opportunity to win the tournament. And this year at Neely Henry, by day 3, I should have had it in the bag.
Oh man,
that's the amount of fish that I'm talking like 4s, 5s, and 6s. Like this lake don't even have fish of that quality. I found them like I found them. And I went there a month and a half, 2 months early just to go out there and look around. And what I found then was still good in the tournament. And I couldn't believe it.
Wow, that never happens.
Never happens.
Right.
And it just, I think I came in, let's see, Neely, I was, where am I here? I put a little finish on here. Neely Henry, I finished 40th. And I literally, by day 3, I did the numbers in my head of what I lost. And I was like, wow, I should probably be able to catch 1 3-pounder on the 4th day and win this tournament completely. Just what I lost. And it just went through my fingertips and I lost it.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, take us through. Did you learn or did you figure out how they got off, or were you?
The only thing, I lost them all in a jig, which to me is like crazy because I was doing the same thing that I've done 5 billion times at home. Which
right.
the crazy part about it was it's second nature what I was doing, and I win so much doing it locally, and I was like, oh man, this one's going to be a good one.
Right.
The only thing I think I probably should have did was put that down and maybe picked up a Texas rig with a bigger 4 or 5-aught hook and really stick them good.
Yep.
That's the only thing I just was losing. What's that?
Were you swimming a jig?
No, I was flipping and pitching. And I just fight them to the boat come off. I lost this one fish that was 5.5, 6 pounds 3 times. Every day I lost this fish in the same spot. Every single day. The first day, I flipped to a little log in the center, and I pulled the jig off to the left side of it. The fish bit it on the log, pulled it to the side, and I set the hook and I put its mouth dead against the log, and the jig came popping out of its mouth.
Oh.
The second day I pull in there, and there was a bush off to the side of this log. I flip the log, nothing. I flip the jig to the tree. It just bites it, and it swims right out in the center, like perfect. I set the hook on it. I fight it. It turns sideways, and it comes undone. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And the third day I get back, and I get to the same area. I lose the fish again for the third time. But there was multiple things that happened in that tournament. Like, this has never happened to me. I retied a new jig on. The one jig was getting kind of messed up. I put a brand new jig on. I flipped to this one thing, and I flipped in there, and I saw a giant just come out of the tree and just eat it. So I reeled down on it. I set the hook. I snapped the jig hook in half.
Oh.
It just, nothing would go right
in
this tournament. It's just everything I did was right but wrong.
Yeah.
And it just unfolded. I lost a 4, another 5. It was just unbelievable.
It's funny how that happens. Like winning is like that too.
Yeah.
Like winning is like it just rolls the other way.
If it would have all happened that way, I would have won hands down.
Right. And then sometimes when that's going on, it's like you just can't stop the bleeding.
Yep.
How did you handle
Especially
that?
in foreign territory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're on the other side of the
Yeah.
world from what we're used to, it seems like. And it's like,
What did when you were going through that, like mentally, did you sit down and try to recover? Did you break something? Did you jump in the lake? How did you handle when all that stuff's happening to you? It makes you crazy.
I kept my cool really good. I mean,
That's impressive.
My marshals,
Yeah, it is.
my marshals were all from there, and all of them said like, "Dude, I'm not just. They're not. I don't mean to be rude, but you just lost fish that I've never even seen in this lake before."
Wow.
It's just like, and I know. I'm like, dude, I don't know. I guess the one thing that kept me going is there was a lot more what I was doing, and I just kept saying, just keep on going. You'll come across another one, and I would, but I would lose it. And I'd lose it again, but I just kept my cool, man. I don't know how. I guess there was so much bad going on that I couldn't even think to process all of it.
Yeah.
It's just it was a horrible thing.
Well, I'm like you.
I want to go back.
I can't lose. I can't lose my cool like that. If I lose it, man, it takes me a week to come back.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
out of these 3 years,
I've been lost my cool.
I've only lost my cool one time. That's it.
What's that look like?
What caused you to lose your cool, and what does that look like?
20 Kelly, you should call on this one. 2019, it was the AOI event, and I needed one fish to qualify for the Classic in the AOI event. day one on Lake St. Clair, I almost sank my boat.
Yep.
And I didn't catch any fish that day. And I was just so furious. Just a stressful year, first year fishing professional. And I was like filling my boat up, and like something was weird. Like my boat wasn't taking gas, and I just kind of lost it a little bit. And I just lost my shit. And then the next day, it was good though, because like
your boat wasn't taking gas like the pile on.
So the gas station was on a really hard angle on the concrete, and I was trying to get the gas, and it would not go. Nothing would work that day. Like everything was just totally wrong.
Oh my god!
So did it get physical? Did you and the boat have fisticuffs or what?
So this is what I did. Like,
or just words?
No. So this is what I did. I just got so pissed off at, like, I couldn't get another spot at the gas station. It was the only one. I went into my truck. I grabbed my jack out. I was going to jack my boat up to get it angled right again. And it got to the point I couldn't even get it to jack up right. So I just I picked up my jack and I just completely threw it hard as I could in the back of my truck. And I said, screw this. I'll do this in the morning. And I went back to the hotel. Kelly didn't say a word. She just was like just quiet. I went back to the hotel at like 6 o'clock. No dinner. I just went to bed and I woke up and did it all over the next day and just caught them really good the next day. Just forgot about it.
Sometimes you gotta.
Yeah.
I just gotta let it out.
Erase that day.
Yeah.
Oh. But I don't know. This year I still learned a ton. Go ahead.
Jake. Yeah, dude. I hope you get to fish Neely Henry again and get some revenge on those bigs, man. That's when I heard you talking about the size of fish. That's that is there for that place. But I know the feeling, especially in the post spawn. And I'm from the Southeast, so like I feel like I'm conditioned to getting burned with a jig in my hand in the post spawn.
Well,
I don't know why. And it's just like weird things happen. They come off. They don't like in the wintertime, they get that thing. You get them in the top of the head and they're in the boat,
Yep.
And I'm not saying that's not, I'll swim a jig in the post spawn. And I'm not saying that that's what happened to you. But if you will entertain playing hindsight, and I don't know if you went back and watched, I just can't help but wonder if you had Jason Christie's tube in your hand, what would have went down?
I know.
I
know.
Wait, what?
He's saying he's something with a different exposure.
Soft plastic.
Yeah, soft plastic.
Yeah.
That was
Texas.
my.
It would have eaten that. The jig's good about getting bites that nothing else will. It's just weird things happen between.
It's crazy.
About the time.
So
on April, May, early June, it's like I just leave a jig. It's not even tied on it.
I know.
I've never really heard much about what you're talking about, JK. And
you almost sounded like you were from the South right now.
Now I want to hear more about it. Why do fish come off a jig?
I just lose them, in that time of year. It's like once they go to bed, it's like a plastic's way more efficient. David Dudley has some theories on that to the point where he doesn't even throw jigs, period. He won't flip jigs, period.
So here's the deal.
But he also threw away his spinner baits, so.
Well, here's the deal.
Yeah.
Doesn't wear underwear either.
So, JK, after day one, I lost some fish. After day one, I did go back that night, and I tied up a beaver. I did. I flipped it maybe 3 times, and I put it back down because I just was getting so many bites in the jig. It was a rookie mistake.
Do you think hesitating might have helped you?
I tried it all. I even tried pulling into them just
a different style.
I still couldn't get them.
Wow.
It just was nothing I did. On my paper right here, I even put Neely Henry. Don't even talk about it because that was the only time of my life that I got in my truck and like for whatever 10 hours I just grabbed my steering wheel and I was just so fired up. I was like, how did this just happen?
Oh, we're sorry, man. You're not going to probably sleep tonight.
We just focused the whole night on it.
Yeah.
Sorry to do this.
Well, that's your
to
time, Greg. Thanks for calling in.
Appreciate you guys. What I didn't want to talk about. Yeah.
All right. Well, all right. We got a low light. We got Neely Henry. We had rough gig. Give me a highlight. What was the absolute best?
Pickwick was pretty good.
Okay.
So Pickwick, we had 2 days of cancellation. Day 1 and 2 canceled. Pickwick went from, I guess, winter pool to 7 feet high overnight. They had a giant storm there. So I like having tournaments where there's no practice, if that makes sense, because I like putting the boat in the water and figuring it out on the day.
Even playing field for everybody.
100%.
Everybody starts over.
I love it that way. We had the Tennessee River this year, super cold, just wintertime fishing, tough fishing. I love it that way.
Yep.
I just feel like where we're all from, that's how we fish. It's tough. It's not easy to catch them. So let them kind of places I feel at home. So Pickwick, everything I had in Pickwick, day one, put the boat in the water. I run to where I was catching them because I don't know the lake at all.
Right.
So I went to where I was catching them. It was like midday. I was like, this is not happening. I had nothing.
Yeah.
And there was a ton of current going down the river. So I started to think to myself, well, I was back in a big giant creek. Let me just start running small pockets off the main river. So I started running small pockets and started running them. And as I go into them, I pulled into this one, and I turned sideways, and I scanned. I saw a bunch of them just sitting there. And I'm like, ooh. So I pull in there, and I just catch them every cast. And I get a decent bag. I'm like, all right, I should do pretty good today because it's been so freaking tough as far as the weather goes. So I go back, I weigh in, I got a pretty good bag. I'm sitting in 20 someplace. Day two, I'm like, all right, I'm running back to that same area. I run back to that small pocket. I get there. There's a local sitting on it. First thing in the morning. And I'm like, there's no freaking way. I pull in there, and the guy's like, oh, man, if you were here a half hour ago, you'd have caught them really good. He just caught them all.
Oh, man.
So, but I had a clue at this point. I knew what I was looking for. So I'm running, I'm gunning. I pull into this one thing. The current's coming into it, but not directly. And there's a shell bed there. There were so many bass on it. I swear, day three, after I fished a day, I had 17, 18 on day two off of this. I had 20 pounds on day three. I caught a fish from when I put the trollometer in the water to when I pulled it to leave every cast.
Holy smokes.
Yep, I don't know how many I caught. It was ridiculous.
Now, did you, when you saw did you see that on side imaging?
I did.
You picked them off side imaging.
Well, so I'm driving, and I'm just looking at these pockets. I'm going pocket to pocket to pocket. And I came and I turned a little bit off a small point that the water was coming into, and it was nothing but fish. And I'm like, these aren't bass. There's no way. There's too many.
Yeah.
So I pick up a trap, and I throw it. They're shallow, like 4 or 5 feet of water. I throw a trap in there, and I turn the handle, and it just right away. And I'm like, no freaking way. So I was wearing them out in a half-ounce trap, and then I wasn't getting them more. So the current got a little bit stronger to day three. So I picked up a 3/4-ounce trap and started wearing them out all over again. And then they stopped biting that, and then I caught them on a Carolina rig for just the rest of the day. I'm talking hours at a time, just every cast. I was like, Jesus, a freaking 3-pounder.
Wow.
It was just unbelievable.
Man. And now,
So-
now, where'd that put you? That put you into
20th.
the 20th place.
Yep.
And that was the last day?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it was day three. I didn't make day four.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
My first day, we had like 15-something, I think.
Yeah, you jumped quite a few places, right, on
Yeah.
that third day?
Yeah, I did, yep.
That's awesome to
No,
catch them all day like that.
Smallmouth, largemouth, and spotted bass. All three are on this spot.
Man, oh man.
It was pretty crazy.
No, that's pretty awesome. Taking advantage of the conditions, and to me, that's it. Gosh, what a great testament to your abilities. Because guys, you think about that. You're competing on the highest level. Conditions have they're gone.
Yep.
You got to start over.
Yep.
And you went out amongst all that pressure and all that competition and smashed them. That is a great highlight for the year.
There's something about that pressure to me that I like. I don't know what it is, but when your back is against the wall, I feel like that's when I like to shine better.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but that's just how I like to fish. Probably because, locally all these years, you put the boat in the water, you fish your derby. No practice, just go fishing. And you figure it out as you go.
Right.
So that was felt like I was at home.
Yeah. That's great.
Greg, what was on this end, man, of that Carolina rig?
Say that again?
What's on?
What's
on the business of your Carolina rig?
So
Sorry.
day two, I caught a 5-pound smallie day two on a rattle trap and on this spot. And when I got the smallie out of the water, there was a giant crayfish hanging out of its mouth. I mean, like an oversized one. I'm like, oh, okay. So that night, I tied the rig up and I put a full-size speed crawl, the big speed crawl on. The Magnum. That's what I caught them on when I was Carolina rigging.
No kidding.
Green pumpkin.
No.
Were you actually throwing a rattle trap, or were you throwing?
Oh yeah, I was throwing a sexy shad, the 1/2 ounce, and then when the current got real strong, I went to the 3/4 to keep it in there a little bit better, and I caught them all over again.
On an actual rattle trap.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, not rattle trap. It was a red eye.
A red eye.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. But I'm talking every single cast for 8 hours. Every single cast.
I don't think that has ever happened to me. 8 hours straight, man. That is an impossibility.
I didn't have a marshal that day. If I had a marshal recording every single fish catch, I bet you would have been in the hundreds of pounds.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, what do you think that would translate into the MLF
200
format?
at least 200 pounds.
Record breaking.
At least.
Man.
It was every cast. I mean, the smallest one was probably 2 3/4.
Wow.
They were all at 3 to 3.5.
How did you manage culling through all that stuff?
It was a pain in the butt.
Did you have to? Were they all the same size,
There
and you
was
had to go through them like that?
Some of them got to the point where it's just like I'm just throwing it back. I wasn't even pulling them out of the box anymore. If it was overly bigger looking, then I checked them.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
What a great tournament.
Yep.
Go ahead,
Tennessee
JP.
River is just special. It's just so many fish in some of those lakes.
I
know Riz got Gunnersville. We definitely had to leave them biting, which is never any fun. But it's fun when you get on a wad like that, man.
It was awesome.
That was a great day, Justin. You actually witnessed me lose my cool, and we weren't even in a tournament on those fish.
Yeah. Well, you're piecing together a new technique.
What happened?
There's always something that can go.
They just kept coming off.
Reel, and we're throwing. When you have a smaller reel, you're throwing a lot of line out when you're on an offshore spot. And he had like a dock skipping reel, like 100 size, And I really think that he wasn't able to get a good, enough gear ratio, picking up enough line to really you had to put the screws to them because you're long cast worm, and basically they wanted a shaky head, Magnum shaky head that day for the most part, and I think that's where he was.
What a fun bite.
All the more reason why you need to be using a redfish spinning reel, Ken Duke. I'm talking to you.
We were on bait casting stuff.
Yeah,
we were totally on bait and stuff. But I mean, they hit the drop shot. I mean, we got on a drop shot spot, and I think we talked about this on one of the podcasts. But the floating eelgrass was everywhere. It was the week after the Elite Series was there, and I saw all these fish, on the hummingbirds, but they wouldn't eat the shaky head because you couldn't get efficient with it. So we just started going vertical. And that's when Riz was toe-to-toe, if not kicking my butt. Like, we were blasting them, and he was right at home with that drop shot in his hand. And we were catching big spots.
It's easy when there's a bunch of them down there, Like, it was clear there was a lot of fish below the boat.
well, that's how
there was this floating mat. Like, it was like 40 feet wide, over 22 feet of water, just a floating eelgrass mat. And I scanned, kind of over there, or I trolled over there to the right up next to the mat, and my 2D's picking up, fish. So I just kind of go a little high with the drop shot and let it goes straight through the mat or whatever, gets down to the bottom, catch a 3 1/4 pound largemouth. It was wild, but
wow,
good fish.
Just a lot of fish. It's like they just missed it. The Elite Series did at Gunnersville. They just missed those fish gang up on the offshore.
Well, Scott Easel on YouTube has a suggestion for Greg's missed jig fish, and you would have been a Senko. that shit wouldn't have happened if you guys were throwing a Senko.
Probably broke them off.
You'd be counting your money right now.
Old trophies. Probably right.
Probably just all Senko.
Polishing blue trophies is what we'd be doing.
Maybe next year.
All right. Well, great event. Pickwick was awesome. My gosh, that's got to bode well for you moving forward. The confidence of being able to adjust like that. That's great. What you learned that about yourself. What else did you learn this year out on tour you think that's going to help you down the road?
I mean, there's some things. The St. John's last year, I finished 72nd, which was a horrible finish. But, so we had the St. John's, again, day one canceled due to fog.
Yeah.
Day two.
It's always foggy there. It's
yes. Day two, 3.5 hour delay. So in practice, I found these fish in practice. I mean, Pete, there was 5-pounders as far as you can walk on beds.
Wow.
And nobody else was around me. And I'm like, oh my God. But we had that big delay. The first day canceled, and then day two, we had a big delay again. I went down there, and almost all of them already spawned and left.
Oh,
because we
gosh.
had it's just like we're talking about. Fighter must have had all the stuff lined up where my stuff was doing the opposite.
Right.
I ran down there on the half a day. It was a far ride. I get all the way down there. I pulled up to the first bed. It was a 7-Eleven. I caught it. And then I started going to the other beds, and they just weren't there.
Just
they were
left.
all gone. Yep. So one whole day off hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe, the part of the next day, fish were leaving maybe that, morning or whatever it was. Just nothing lined up good for me.
Yep.
Practices were great. I tried to adjust, and it was just, it it's just hard. I mean, no excuses.
Right.
You know?
Well, that developing pattern, we talk about it a lot. I know, JK, we always harping on it. Like, man, that always seems like when you wind up at the top is when you're fortunate enough to find out, like, the spawners that are just getting there
versus leaving.
Versus the ones
and
that
I
are
didn't,
leaving.
I didn't know, because in practice, I mean, dude, I was watching them swimming. They were coming. I'm like, this is perfect. But the Florida fish seem to get up and leave quick. You know, they're there for 1, 2, maybe 3 days, and they're gone, it seems like.
Right.
So, you know, maybe if we had no delay the first day or no cancellation the first day, maybe I could have had a really big bag the first day and then held on to the second day to get into the third day.
Did you try filing a protest with Bass for canceling the first day?
I wish I could have. I wish I could. Unfortunately.
Maybe we'll try that next year.
Yeah, we'll see.
Hey, my fish left. I would like to file an official protest.
Yeah.
It's unfair.
Yeah. You know, we were on Fork last year. Same deal. I mean, for the most part, it was a spawning tournament. And everybody can see the obvious fish. So in the practice, I went around and I purposely looked for all the fish you could not see unless you really looked hard for them. But that meant they were all the way back inside the junk, most of them. And
Right.
same thing, man. I switched flipping hooks, plastics. I lost so many, I'm trying to get them out.
Right.
Big ones. The first one was an 8 or 9 pounder, giant one. And, you know, it just didn't work out.
Oh, man.
But the practice is, and I'm not looking back at the history of the practice, but, like, every time I show up and I find them, it just isn't coming together. You know, losing fish or something stupid's happening or just everything. It's just, I just got to make it happen.
Right.
If it can happen, it could be really good.
Well, I think you just got to keep doing what you're doing, and it's almost like I hate to give this advice, but you gotta let it come to you.
I know,
and it's so hard because sometimes you try to force it.
I know,
and that's what kills you sometimes. You know.
I see some of the guys on tour; they are so lax. You know, they're just so laid back. They don't even go out and pre-practice none of these places. Like, oh yeah, I just show up and catch them, and they do, and they get them. It's just amazing to me.
Man, wouldn't that be awesome just to be that way?
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not wired that way.
Yeah.
I like to work. I like to put in the effort. I like to do this. I like to just dot my I's and cross my T's and go.
Right.
But it's just like you're saying. Some guys just got the knack for it, I guess.
I don't know how. I mean, they do get pre-practice time.
Yeah, but some guys don't even go.
He's saying they don't even do it.
They'll do the actual 2.5 days of practice. But they won't go out prior and look at the body of water. None of that stuff.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
But a lot of these places are still all brand new to me. You know, they're all places I've never been. It's just as I'm putting it together, it's all brand new. You know?
Well, as a veteran of the sport, I could say that it's been around a long time. This year, I've been any chance I get to fish, I'm usually jumping in a tournament. And
cold.
Yep. And
thank you, Brian.
Nope, it ain't happening.
Yeah.
It's just like consistently. I'm like, start figuring something out. Nah, you know.
Yeah.
Need another 3-4 hours. You know. What I mean?
You got to find a balance. It'd be interesting because at the Oneida tournament, I stayed with Ike and Brian Schmidt and myself, and we had different practice strategies.
Dropper.
Different. Yeah, true enough. It was like Ike practices like Ike, and always is always life. And I've tried to practice like him, and I found that it's a deterrent for me.
Yeah.
Like he's first at the ramp before light, and he's last on the ramp, and he's coming back after dark. He's fishing at dark a lot of times, you know.
Yep.
And that strategy worked for him. Brian, had kind of a different strategy where, he did a ton of sonar work, and he put, believe me, a lot of hours in. And I did too. I put a lot of hours in, but nowhere near like that. Like for me, I got to make sure that I have enough time to think.
Yep.
Like consume what I've digested on the water. Like understand it. What does it mean to me? How can I make heads or tails of it? Because if I went like Ike, it's like I can never figure out what the heck happened to me. But that works so good for him. I guess the thing is you got to find you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to find you, and you're doing that. Obviously, you're crushing it. And you just you're learning a lot. And I think you just need to keep doing what you're doing, and you're going to be hitting them over the fence here soon enough.
I freaking hope so.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Well, tell me what else you got this year that happened.
So we had the Tennessee River, which was a cold tournament. You know, it was wintertime. We had that. I think it was like February. It was that tournament, second or third week of February, whenever it was. I'm sure maybe JK could see the date, but super cold. So I felt like I was at home, man. You know, I just knew that the river was real muddy in a lot of places. We had a lot of rain coming down. So you know, when I think of them kind of places, I still think like wintering holes for the most part. You know, not a lot of current, so deep water access, all that good stuff. So I started running channel bends, and the channel bends that were dumping and swooshing and turning that didn't have a lot of current but had a lot of deep docks. So we had some muddy water. So that, you know, that positions a lot of the fish still against some kind of something. Yeah. So I started running deep docks with a small finesse jig, and man, I just started catching them really good. You know, and it worked out for me. I think I finished 39th in that one too.
Nice.
Just, you know, catching 10 pounds a day, whatever I call it, whatever it was. It was good in that tournament. I mean, Gussie had some big bags. He found something that was special.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
he was like doing that
Yeah,
vertical.
he blew everybody out.
Yeah. What do they call it? What do they call that, JK?
Moping.
Moping.
Yeah.
Moping. Yep.
Open.
Yep.
Jamaica rig kind of deal.
Yep.
You know, the funny thing is I heard somebody else stopped on those fish before Gussie
So did I.
got down, and he didn't catch them and left, and you know, Gussie moved in and won the tournament on that spot. It's pretty crazy.
Yep.
And you know, the guy I talked to, you know, he respectfully didn't even once Gussie was there, and he didn't even go back there the rest of the tournament. But
yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was telling my partner out on Lake Ontario when I pulled up on my first starting spot, and this reminds me of the Gussie situation. I said, when you're by yourself, you're either going to win or you're going to lose real bad. It's one or the other. Because I'm like out in the middle of Ontario. I'm like, wow, there's not even a boat in sight. I'm in deep trouble, or we're about to jack 5-pounder. But that's what Gussie did. He was all by himself, except for obviously the one other guy, but he was the only one doing that.
Yeah,
and
he figured it out, man.
Yeah, got him in the winner circle.
Yeah, he did.
How about some techniques? Did you do anything this year that you've never done before, or any techniques that you picked up on this year?
Nah, nothing crazy. I mean, nothing out of the ordinary. No, I mean, I feel like I mean, I didn't throw a Tokyo rig. That's probably I don't throw a Tokyo. I didn't throw a what's the other one called?
Senko.
A Nico rig. I didn't throw a Senko, obviously. I did have a Senko tied on though. But no, nothing crazy. I mean, I still power fish with the jig. I still threw a ton of drop shot like I always do. I mean, I throw Carolina rig guys a lot. Obviously, you guys should know that by now. But nothing crazy, no. Nope. I did get a lot of fish this year on a Rico, little pop R. A lot of places we went to.
Really?
So that was always a super fun bite. On Champlain, I caught a lot on it this year in the tournament, and practice was just unbelievable on Champlain with a Rico.
Yeah.
I could not go anywhere and pop that thing and not get smoked.
Wow.
Yeah, it was so
Wow. That's great.
Yep.
I love that. Top water action.
What do you do in that situation?
You don't
Just
get to
throw
do
it
that
without
in
the hooks, or
tournaments
yeah, I was
very
throwing
much.
no hooks on that, and my spook, I had the hooks all bent over, so it still goes right. They were
Gotcha.
just crushing it.
No spy bait this year on
I
Champlain?
couldn't get it going. I I tried. I tried all the areas. It just didn't seem like they were in that mood. It didn't seem like, you know, it's just a lot of fish on a crankbait this year on Champlain. Tons on Champlain. I would say half the fish I weighed on Champlain this year were on crankbait.
Nice. I love that
Burning
crankbait
it.
bite up there.
Burning it.
Yeah.
Hard as I can.
Yep. A lot of the
How
guys
deep?
in the MLF did that on
15.
St. Clair.
15?
Yeah, average 15, I'd say.
Around grass or just rock or
Cabbage grass.
cabbage? Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
How heavy a line?
15, because up there in St. Lawrence also, a lot of that cabbage grass and all the other grass has muscles like inside the grass.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, like your line gets frayed, burning
Right.
that crankbait through it. So
Right.
you got to really watch yourself.
Where was it a up snap or like a sweep to your side to clear it, or
it was like a burning, but just kept
Right,
popping
right,
it,
okay.
hitting the grass
Gotcha.
and popping it through. And
I got on that bite one time at Saratoga 3 years ago,
Yeah.
fishing deep cabbage grass.
That's a cool
like
place.
with, you know, it was the grass was probably like 10, 15 feet, but you know, I was just digging a Series 3 or Series 4 Strike King down into it, and I thought I was going to blow the doors off that tournament because I was catching so many fish.
Yep.
It's a fun way to catch them.
Super fun.
It's one of my favorites. The Wigglewort, the DT10 series are all amazing. The guys on the MLF at St. Clair Detroit River, so many of them were doing good with the crankbait. But guys, if you're going to try that, there is the technique that I'm like, pretend you're around grass or you're popping it
Yep.
out of grass,
Yep.
even when you're not.
Right.
That retrieve
Yeah.
will trigger the crap out of them smallmouth
That's-
because
yeah.
they'll follow in groups of 2 and 3.
It'll trigger the
and
largemouth, too.
and the minute you pause it or pulse it, boom.
You can do that with a lot of baits,
So-
not just a crankbait. I do that with a chatterbait a ton. When I'm not
Pipkins.
around cover, it's just go crazy with that thing.
Yep.
Pipkins throws a crankbait a lot. He kind of like for smallmouth. He's taught me a lot with crankbaits. Mm-hmm.
Throws that Demiki, right?
Yeah, Demiki 300. So like what Chad does, Chad will throw the crankbait out and he'll reel it fast, but Chad pops it up really hard because he says a lot of times them smallies when it's digging and it pops up, he says that's when they run up and crush it. You know, because when you go to the side, you're still digging it,
Yep.
but when you pull it up, you're popping it out of there.
Right,
And
right.
He said it drives him nuts.
Changing vertically. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, Chad's certainly a smallmouth.
He's really good. He's
expert.
really starting to shine.
Yep,
for sure.
Hey, well, the drop shot. I just want to give you some props because you took out one of my buddies, Brooks Parker, and his dad, Derek
That's right.
Parker, and you showed them how to drop shot on the Chesapeake. I
did.
And Brooks has not put the drop shot down, and Brooks
or has hired Pete since.
And Brooks is not true, but Brooks is just took his first check at the BFL Super Tournament.
Nice.
And
good job, man.
Congratulations, Brooks. He
Nice.
made the cut. He made a top 10, 8th place finish.
Drop shot.
Drop shotting.
Gave all the credit to Greg.
I like it.
Drop shotting. Yeah. Very, very good.
Yeah.
So, well, what's the drop shot bait of choice?
Well, it depends, smallmouth or largemouth. I mean, honestly, a flatworm is really hard to beat for a smallmouth.
Yep.
But I'm just gonna go to robo worm.
Yep.
That's my probably all-time favorite.
Yep. Morning dawn.
Yeah, morning dawn usually.
Yeah.
4.5 inch.
That's awesome.
Greg, I'm not fishing up north and stuff, but man, as a fan of the sport, I've started to notice something that nobody's talking about. I want to know if you've caught wind of this on the drop shot in a Ned worm, like a fat 3-inch Ned worm. Have you been seeing guys do this?
Yeah, I have. I have been seeing it. I haven't done it personally, but yes, I have seen it. Pretty much everything you hear about, I think I have seen, or the guys are definitely doing for sure.
You ever seen a man eat his own head? Did you?
I'm
Haven't seen anything.
We're talking about fishing.
Oh. Oh, just saying.
A lot of guys have got, I was practicing with, have started eating their own heads, and using the little Z-Man, those little Ned bombs, drop shotting them, wacky rigging them.
Z-Man's got some good stuff, man.
Yeah.
They really do.
One of these days, I'll get around to adding the drop shot to my arsenal. But
Yeah, you can drop shot a lot of things.
You really can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Swim baits. I mean, you name it, you can drop shot it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm looking at the next thing already, man. I'm telling you, all my old drop shot tricks, I'm glad I've made a little money on it because it just does not feel like it used to. These fish are educated. Like, all the old stuff's just not working anymore. I miss the days when you could just get over top of a wad of them. And maybe your northern fish will still do this. But down here, man, like, you get on top of a fish and drop down to them, you can kiss that goodbye, man. You are not going to catch a mature-sized fish unless, like, you get some random condition or surprise. I don't know. I'm so over it. Like, they just are not eating the old tricks anymore, man.
Well, George Cochran said it the best. The most important thing in fishing is fishing pressure. It's the most important thing to account for.
Yep.
So it's interesting. Things are definitely changing out there.
More people need to get jobs, go to work, and knock
well,
it off.
We're seeing it. The COVID year had more fishing pressure than ever. I think people are starting to get back to football and jobs, so maybe we'll see some more room at the boat launch.
Get in the trees, guys.
Yeah.
It's time to go hunting. Get off the lakes, get in the trees.
Riz, talk to me. Who's watching us over there and has an IM?
That's right. Give some shout-outs here on the message board. We got all our usual suspects over here: Joe V, Wild Bill, Josh Neeson, Jay Water, Bruce, Caden Argyle, Eco Bass Angler, the coach, Matt Gowdy checking in on the message board, Mike Powers, John from Kentucky, Matt Henry, checking in on the message board.
Holla.
And guys, anybody who's watching, we appreciate your support of the show. But we got a couple questions here for Greg from our guys on the board. And the first one I'm going to go with is from Bassmaster 2K2, and he wants to know, what lake are you looking forward to the most on the 2022 Bassmaster Elite Series schedule?
Well, I want to say Pickwick because I liked what I saw last year, but I'm going to go the Harris Chain because that time of year, pre-spawn, possible spawn, grass fishing. I feel like I feel right at home. I love throwing a chatterbait, a swim jig.
Is it January?
February.
It's February.
Yep.
Okay.
It's the third week in February.
I love that because January is always so unpredictable with the fronts, but February is
should be
a lot more stable.
It should be. So, I've watched a lot of tournament history there on YouTube and stuff, how the guys are catching them, and, it seems to be.
Have you ever been?
One time I was there. So when I qualified in 2006, that was the lake I qualified on.
Okay. Wow.
First time I've ever been there, yeah. So that was the only time I've been there since then.
So we got the Harris Chain.
Harris Chain.
#1 pick. Great question. I was going to ask that question, by the way.
All right. And Bassmaster 2K2, you won yourself a Gills Gear gift card for that question. The next question is going to come from none other than Coach Prince, and he wants to know, what was the most difficult tournament for you this season and why?
Easy one. Neely Henry.
Okay.
Blue trophy, goodbye.
Yeah.
So that's what made it the most difficult, was just the
mentally just a
simply
strain.
the lost fish.
What about the hardest one to get bites at? What was the most challenging just to try to get limits?
I'm going to say the Tennessee River was still the hardest.
Is
Even
that
though
right?
I was catching them that way, it was look at the bags. They were horrible. A lot
Right.
of guys weren't weighing limits. It was tough.
Yeah. No doubt, unless you were Gussie.
Yeah, unless you were Gussie.
Yep.
And even the fourth day, he struggled too, Gussie, because that size limit is so big there. I want to say it was like 15 or 16.
Yeah, for
Tennessee
smallmouth.
Which for Gussie was really hard to get to because
he
caught a lot of fish that were there.
Yep.
So that fourth day, he finally got it to go together.
Yep.
It was a tough tournament.
Yep. Great question, Coach. What else you got?
Next question I'm going to go with is going to be from Joe V, and he's going to win himself a Gills Gear gift card for this question as well. And he wants to know, Greg, do you do anything to prepare for the mental side of fishing going into a tournament season?
I'm about to be married. I'm pretty good on that, I think. We're all tested when it comes to women, so no, I don't do anything to prepare myself. I just deal with Brian too in his yellow shirt, but no, I don't do anything. I guess what could you do?
Maps. I'd say stuff like getting yourself mentally prepared for lakes or your season. Is it tackle prep? It's all.
I would say the biggest thing in fishing mentally is when you have them really tough events, when you know it's going to be tough going into it, whether it's going to be super cold weather or if it's going to be just really tough fishing in general. I think you can prepare yourself mentally for them kind of events. I think you have to, and I think certain guys fish them kind of events, or maybe guys down south and they come up here and it's really cold. They're not used to it, so they're kind of already out of the game a little bit.
Right.
Where I feel like we're used to it, and we kind of strive, towards it because of that reason.
Yep.
Right,
So,
and then we struggle when it's a beat down in the south and everybody's catching giants.
I feel like the beatdowns are probably the hardest ones to win.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Yep.
But we had Kevin Short on a couple weeks ago, and he said, about those grinders, those tough tournaments, like half the field or more are already
Out
beat. They're already out of it.
Mentally gone.
I
Right,
like the ones where it's cold or it's raining hard as hell, because you can in your head say, and I'm going to come right to JK after this. You can just say in your head 50, 60, 70% of the tournament, forget about it.
Yep.
They're already done.
Yep.
Yep.
What you got, JK?
I just saying that the biggest, I think the person I respect the most for
Brian the
Thank you.
off
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Brian the Carpenter.
for the off-season preparation. I'm sorry, Pete, but
No, it ain't Pete. Preparation and Pete don't go together.
Ike's out there in those winter leagues, man. The guy just fishes even though the weather sucks where he lives in the off season, and I've seen it. He just tries to stay sharp. How many guys, especially down south, are going hunting? They're checking out of bass fishing. Period. They're sick of it, or whatever it is, and
Well, I hear you, but I disagree a little bit. Like the mental side of fishing and anything can sometimes require a checkout. You know, you gotta walk away and clear your mind, and in order to come back. Everybody's different, you know.
So you just brought this up, and this is
Well,
let me just say one thing. So for the last 3 years, I have not stopped fishing like for the last 3 years.
Wow.
And Brian called me last week. I literally took a week off. Like I had to force myself.
1 week.
Yeah.
I know. I actually Googled it. I looked up professional players. Should they take a break? And what you were getting into, I'm sorry to stop you, but with taking the break, go ahead, Pete.
No, I just find that depending on your personality, how you are in the sport, taking a reprieve and can be a real benefit mentally. It just depends. It depends on who you are, where you are with your fishing.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. But you're talking about Ike that fishing the winter derbies all year long.
Well, and that's kind of what I'm trying to think through for myself, and how can I get better before next season? I've got a season to finish, but dude, I had a, with the health scare that I had this summer, I had a mandatory break. I'm coming out of a 3-month long break. 3 months is probably the longest I've gone without fishing in the last decade. You know what I'm saying? And even tournament fishing, because usually when I fish, it's tournament.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, when I went to that BFL 2 weekends ago, and then I forced myself to jump in this little tournament last Sunday just to trying to get sharp because of how bad I felt the BFL went. I'm thrilled I got a check. I made some really good sharp decisions, but man, I'm telling you, I am suffering from that break, and it's physical. I am missing my mark. I cannot put a bait where I want to put it. I'm just completely off, and I'm not spun out right now, but I'm telling you, man, just that, like, I don't know how guys take that long of a break. Like, Greg, I think that was good for you to check out for a week or two.
Yeah.
And I agree with some of what Pete's saying, but man, I don't ever want to go 3 months ever again. It is like I'm trying to relearn techniques and stuff that was so second nature. And like, I can't put a jig 60 feet up under a dock anymore, on the back corner post. Like, I got to find that and get it back, and the only way to go get it back is reps,
Well, speaking of breaks, David Williams has taken a break from tournament fishing, and he's going to be with us, and we're going to be talking about power fishing.
Yep.
We're going to take a quick break, BTC.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to that real quick. And I know from following social media, Travis Manson, he's just coming off his like second or fourth vacation from fishing, where he goes from lounging around, making YouTube videos, fishing a tournament once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then he takes vacation for a week, goes back, fishes for another week, and then takes vacation. And it works. He needs that time away to de-stress himself.
The COVID year was very, very good.
Lots of
I
vacations
came off
for
the
Travis,
COVID year where I
what I'm
didn't
saying.
fish very much, and I had one of my best seasons this year. So,
That's true.
it just depends on your person, where you are in your fishing.
White claws and vacations.
It doesn't seem like that's helpful to your fishing, but maybe it is.
It works for Travis.
Sports psychologists too. A lot of pros. Takahiro, Scott Martin, Gerald Swindle have used sports psychologists to help them battle through some of their fishing competitions.
Travis just hypnotizes people. He hasn't worked in 20 years. So, there you go.
Vampires can do that.
Just hypnotize people and take vacations. White Claws. We'll be back in minute 30.
We'll be right back.
That's right.
Thank you.
Moment on the water not spent fishing is a moment wasted. That's why Minn Kota and Humminbird have joined forces to bring you the One Boat Network. Products that communicate and integrate to help you take full command of your boat. Born from our commitment to making the most advanced fishing gear even better by making it work together, the One Boat Network will help you find, get to, stay on, and catch more fish. When One Boat Network products talk to each other, they can navigate your boat automatically. They can give you a crystal clear view of what's below with no messy wires. And they can let you lower, raise, and change shallow water anchor modes from anywhere on the boat. But that's just the beginning. We're never done innovating, integrating, and making your boat simpler and easier to control. All so you can make every second on the water count.
Tackle Warehouse is proud to sponsor the FLW Pro Circuit and is the official tackle retailer of FLW, providing proven bass fishing gear as well as the newest and hottest tackle. Our friendly and knowledgeable customer service staff can help you every step of the way. And we offer free ground shipping on orders over $50. Tackle Warehouse. Everything for the bass angler at the lowest prices. Guaranteed.
I have to be constantly on the lookout for new techniques to stay on the top of my game.
Giant.
Some have been more successful than others.
Giant.
The finesse fingernail.
Happens every time.
The chain gang.
Broke it off.
The crow's nest.
Never let go.
And don't even get me started on tackle management, especially trying to stop rust and corrosion. Peanut butter. Not good. Motor oil.
Gotta keep the rust off all these baits.
WD-40.
Gotta keep the rust off.
Silica, toothpicks, Q-tips, the list goes on and on. I'm hard on tackle, I fish fast, I need my tackle organized and protected. I can't be worrying about losing baits to rust. And when it comes to tackle management, there's only one solution. Flambeau Tackle Storage Systems with Z-Rust technology. The original anti-rust tackle box. Uncompromised clarity. Renowned durability. The infused anti-rust option that is FDA safe and free of harmful chemicals. The organization options are endless, but there's only one. One box, one anti-corrosion technology, one family-owned, American-made brand, Flambeau Z-Rust Tackle Solutions. Preserve, perform, repeat.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Bass University Live. What a great little segment. Really awesome taking us through your season there, GDP. And, wishing you best of luck next year.
Thank you.
I guess I want to. I just want to say to Mike about Mike Centaur. Went through a bad crash. Tractor trailer rear-ended his Skeeter, and Yamaha drove his Yamaha through the transom of his Skeeter into the bed of his truck, and he walked away from it with a concussion. Man, it's great to have you walking around. You can always replace that gear, but man, that's a tough maneuver. He was going around an accident on the highway.
Yep. Slowed
down, and the tractor trailer didn't see the accident in time, or was unable to slow down, and smashed him up. So. Look forward to seeing a new boat, Mike.
Another new boat.
Yeah,
that was only what, a week old, 2 weeks old?
I know, that was just
brand
a couple
new.
weeks old. Oh my gosh.
Ouch.
I mean, it's horrible, but gosh, I mean,
wow.
Yeah.
You can't replace you.
You can't replace
we can
Centaur.
Replace the Skeeter.
You can't replace Centaur.
Can't replace Centaur.
No.
The Northeast River would not know what to do without him on.
All the fish would die.
and I
don't know. Maybe fishing would get really, really good.
True.
Have Mike out there stinging them all.
And congratulations to Ike for qualifying for the Bassmaster Elite. Double qualifying?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Richard,
so?
take it
Also
away.
qualified for the MLF Big Five.
Oh.
Yeah.
Which one's you taking?
Beats me, Greg.
Yeah. Beats
Hey,
me.
This one, that one,
He's
none of them.
He's taking tickets for the show My World. That's what he's taking.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He's going to keep doing My World.
But now,
He'll probably fish them both.
Shout out to Ike. You know what I mean? Just hell of a year. If you were to take all his finishes this year, from all the circuits he fished, all the tours, Opens, Toyota Series, kayak tournaments, and you combined all them together,
Winter League.
Yeah, all that stuff. If there was an AOY for all of it, he blew the doors off it.
I think
So,
you're right.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you look at his finishes, it's pretty impressive.
Pretty impressive. Well done. And honestly, the pressure was on. He got passed on the first day of competition at Thousand Islands by one spot.
Yeah.
And he was out.
Yep.
It is freaking hard to qualify for the elites through the opens.
And he rallied, made a really good decision, and fished extremely well, and flipped it, and scored, got himself tied for first, and back into elite qualification. So that's mental tough.
Yep.
He's mentally tough as anybody I've ever seen.
What's it like to win all the time? I just want to win once.
Well, even as good as Mike is, like the best people in our sport, they win like 5% of the tournaments they enter.
Yeah.
That's the sport we decided to pick.
Yeah.
You know, why didn't we pick a sport where you could win like half the time?
Like ping pong or
You know?
something.
Ball.
Yeah.
It's just
checkers.
Nobody's knocking you out. So
That's true.
Nobody's getting punched in the face.
Well, I don't know. 70 get hit by a tractor trailer in the rear. You know, that's a pretty hard punch, man.
Yeah, this is true.
But without further ado, we have a break from the Southern Opens. He's taken time to come and talk to us. He's at his home, and we really appreciate him taking a little time out from practice and visiting with us at Bass University. And he is on the precipice of qualifying for the elites again. And just a super stud, a super talented angler, Mr. David Williams.
Woo!
I appreciate it, guys.
Hey, it's great. It's great to have you with us. And JK, we've talked about. He's David. He's a power fisherman, and he has done so much and qualified for so much. Take us through some of David's qualification.
Oh gosh, yeah. So you alluded to it. He's trying to qualify. He's in good position to qualify for the elites through the opens a second time. And the guy's won $750,000 between his Bassmaster and MLF/FLW winnings. He's a 5-time winner over at FLW, and got a pro circuit win a few years ago on Smith Lake. He is very feared in the BFLs. If you are from Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, you know who David Williams is. And he's about as humble as they come, man. And the guy just puts his head down, and he's he's a local legend down here, but it's great to see him have success out on the national trail. And we expect, a lot more from him. But man, David, you're just you're one of my heroes, man. You know who you are as a fisherman. You stick to your guns, and man, you are good with those guns.
Right
and it's power fishing. We're leaving the spinning rod talk at home tonight, and I am so excited to have you on, buddy.
Well, I appreciate y'all having me. It's an honor to be here. And man, I better catch some fish this week, or I'm going to disappoint some people. I know that. Sounds like.
I don't think we're in any worry about you catching fish on Lake Norman. You know a little bit about that place, don't you?
Yeah, I pretty much grew up here, and I'm obviously fishing it this week, and feeling like I've never been on it before because it's really been a struggle for me. So I'm hoping to turn it around. We've got a little weather change coming, and I hope it throws everybody for a loop and it work right in my favor, but yet to be seen.
Right. So, David, speaking to that situation that you're in right now, from Hartwell all the way to some South Carolina lakes, Norman, all the North Carolina lakes that you've grown up fishing. How many times have you been in a situation like this where it's like what you know about the lake, it just seems like you don't know anything, and how have you handled that situation?
Well, I mean, it don't matter. I mean, in my situation, I have to fish it like I've never been on the lake before, because what happens a lot of times, guys that go to their home lake and they fish a lot of history and it ends up biting them. So I try to keep an open mind and fish new water all the time. And if that don't work out, then I kind of can, rely on some history and just see what works and just going to have to put it together as I go.
Is there such a thing as new water at Lake Norman for you?
I mean, yeah, because I don't, I grew up my life and I fish, pretty much a couple regions of the lake, and you get kind of really dialed into those regions. And if you're going to go out there and fish, you're going to go to where you know where to catch fish at. So each time I go during practice like this, I want to go to regions I haven't been to, or not so much I haven't been to, but I haven't been to in years. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I do. Let me ask you this. You're a power guy. Are you going to be targeting spotted bass in this tournament? Do you have to at least incorporate them, or are you going to try to build a plan around largemouth on Lake Norman?
I think you got to do both. To have a chance to win, you have to do both. You can probably cut a check off of, doing one species or another, but I feel like, to win, you have to do both. And it's really hard just to get a limit of largemouth on Lake Norman now. Spots have pretty much took over, and I'd say it's at least 80 to 85% of the population there now. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to go out and fish for 15% of the fish or 10% of the fish or whatever it is in that of a largemouth. So I kind of have to look for both.
Yeah, David, you're a top 10 machine. You find yourself in that top 10 a lot.
Just need to find myself in the first position more.
Well, dude, we know you're a good power fisherman, and that's what we're talking to you about. But what percentage of the fish that you weigh in come power fishing? 50%, 100%. Like, tell us for like your whole, the last couple decades, what percent of the fish are you coming in power fishing?
I'd say at least 95%. Wow. I mean, yeah. There's probably the only exception to that would be as far as maybe some occasional bed fishing and schooling fishing. And sometimes the schooling fish, especially this time of year, you may have to downsize or throw smaller baits or something like that.
What is power fishing to you? Are you crankbait, jig guy, spinnerbait? What are your top power fishing tools that have got all these big finishes for you?
I do it. Mainly I fish all over the country pretty much with the same stuff, and I've took my lumps doing that. But one of my favorite things to do is probably throw some kind of top water like a buzzbait. Of course, I throw a True South. That's the V-twin, and that's the Zoom, horny toad on there. But that's one of my favorite things to do. I want to be winding something. I want something that I can cover ground with, and I've got a spinnerbait here. I probably made as much money on a spinnerbait as anything. I build my own spinnerbaits. You can take them anywhere and catch fish on them still. A lot of people don't throw them anymore, but and then as far as one of my favorite big fishing baits for a winding bait is a bladed jig, and that's I throw the queen tackle. That's a switchblade. Put it on there, and that's putting it on a tungsten head, so it's got a different noise, different vibration, and I like the Zoom Z-Crawl Junior trailer on that. But I'm going to cover a lot of water with that, and that gets a lot of big bites for me. And if I slow down, it's going to be, it's going to be a jig in my hand about 90% of the time. We're going to get some high pressure, slow down, and that's going to be pretty much usually either a 1/2 ounce or 3/8 ounce queen tackle tungsten jig. gonna go through that, and if I can't catch them on those, if I can't catch them on those baits, I'm probably hurting.
Well,
David, always tungsten for your jig fishing?
Yes, I feel like you get a lot more feedback. You know, that you can feel a lot more bites through it. And I didn't realize it was that big of a difference till I was fishing up on Lake Oneida one time, and I discovered that I was fishing on a hump and getting bites on just a lead head jig, and but I couldn't tell what I was fishing in. I could tell it was something hard, but I couldn't tell what I was fishing in. And I actually broke one off, and I had a couple of these tungsten headed jigs, and I never had threw one before. And I threw it out there, and I was like, man, that's some rocks and gravel down there, you know. And then I could feel it when I pull it up in some grass and stuff like that, and you could actually tell the difference. And I'm like, and that really translates back, you know, to feeling more bites, you know. So it does make a difference to me, and I feel like I can, you know, distinguish the bites better as well as feeling the cover better.
Yeah, so you think you catch more fish on it just because of what it allows you to feel. It doesn't it doesn't trigger more bites than a lead head jig.
Oh, well, it does have a different sound when it hits stuff. If you don't believe me, just throw it into the back of a pontoon one time, and you'll see how much louder it is than a lead jig.
Now, we are not advising anybody watching this to go try to skip their jigs in the back of pontoons.
Just jet skis.
Just the jet skis. I like it. That's great stuff. Let me ask you this, Dave. Do you think I'm listening to your power fishing strategy? Do you think you have benefited from this advance in sonar offshore technology, pushing everybody else off the bank? Do you think that is there less fishing pressure on the bank now with all this?
Yeah, I believe it is. It's kind of it's kind of been a blessing in disguise at a lot of lakes. I mean, if guys really feel like they're offshore and they're finding some fish offshore, it frees up a lot of ground on the, you know, that don't get touched on the bank. So I kind of like it in a way, and I don't like it in a way because I get my butt kicked by it a lot.
Yeah, right. You still got to be concerned about it, but you seem to do pretty well doing what you're doing, and it's I love your strategy. I've interviewed you before about it, and I want to give a shout out to the boys at Cash and Rods because they're the rods that you use, but you keep your rod selection extremely simple.
Yeah. I throw pretty much 90% of my rods are all 7 foot, and I vary a lot between a 7 foot heavy and a 7 foot medium heavy. That's my variation pretty much.
And no matter whether you're you're using all big single hook baits in just about everything that you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like I say, there will be an exception to that. When I throw a crankbait, I'll be in more of a medium action, like as far as shallow cranking, stuff like that. Or like smaller top waters, I'll be more in a medium action. But everything else is pretty much done with the medium heavy or the heavy action 7 footer.
What are you skipping your Senko under docks with?
Nothing.
Perfect answer.
How about your drop shot?
Only time, you know, I'll throw a drop shot some when I'm bed fishing, and when I go to these tidal rivers. That's about it. Or I do what they call what they call power shotting some, and I'm doing that with like a 7 foot medium heavy, and I like to do that when it's a lot of pressure on lakes.
Right. Well, it's like it's funny because GDP has brought the drop shot to tidal water, and I'm always power fishing there. But man, you smash them up on the tidal water.
But wait. So Dead stick in the Senko's now power fishing, Pete?
That's the opposite.
You
no.
keep sticking to yellow shirts,
That's
man.
fun.
You just leave the fishing.
Come
talk
on, you're stuttering. You're stuttering. Back to you, David. Struck a nerve.
Yeah. Well, for the 15th time tonight. But we were talking about drop shotting in tidal water. Dave says that's funny that you say that, Dave, because it's stained water. It's a lot of current. I'm usually powering up, and GDP, you've made it famous drop shotting in the tidal water.
It works pretty good, Pete.
Apparently so.
Just keep doing what you're doing.
I believe I will.
Now, so Dave, I fished against you quite a few times in the Bassmaster Opens over the years, and you've done really well in Highland reservoirs, especially it seems like too. In the Opens. From what I can tell, on the outside looking in, you're really good at swim jig, and I also I think you fish a lot of mud lines. Is that true?
I haven't, especially when you you get in real clear reservoirs, stuff like that.
Yep.
I think that's a big factor sometimes. Just pushes a lot of bait fish up into that, and acts as cover for them.
Yeah. Is there anything else like you can talk about? If you don't want to share, don't share. But is there something you're looking for down the bank, or are you just running new water that has mud lines?
I really just cover as much water as I can until I run into something I like. I mean, and a lot of times I look for the places that nobody else will fish. I mean, it's just like the ugliest banks. It may not be as many fish there, but they got a lot less pressure too. So I mean, you're fishing for less amount of fish, but there's those points on Lake Norman that I've seen, 15 people a day hit them. Every time you come by there's somebody sitting on them, and those points look good to everybody. And it's, and that's the ones I try to stay away from, the less obvious.
That's interesting. A lot of the sonar aficionados are doing the same thing where they look at the Lake Master mapping and they look where there's no change in contours, and that's where they practice so that, because people might ignore it.
Yep, sure, definitely.
You're doing the same thing in the shallow water.
Yeah, I mean, you put 200 boats on a body of water the size of Lake Norman, and everything that's good is going to get hit at some point in time.
Yeah. Yeah, so when you're fishing the mud lines, I mean, so a lot of times, what are you throwing, a jig mostly or a swim jig?
If I'm fishing a mud line, most of the time it's going to have some wind on it, and I'll throw a spinnerbait a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are the conditions that you're going to be facing here at Lake Norman? You said we're getting a change in conditions. Are you getting a rain event, or what's happening down there?
Yeah, it rained. It's been really dry and hot. And, I mean, the water hadn't cooled off any. I mean, it's like still in the 80s. And we're still in summertime patterns. And it's not typical for this time of year. Usually we've had a few cold fronts come through. And we're finally getting the first one coming through now. It rained all day today, and it's supposed to rain all day tomorrow. And then it's supposed to be like in the 40s and 50s starting, during the tournament every morning. And we're supposed to, it's going to be a 25, 30 degree temperature drop. So I don't know if it'll be soon enough, but I wish we were fishing more like next week, but that would push a lot of fish up, I feel like. But I'm hoping they move, but they hadn't yet.
I got you. Norman is an interesting lake. It's I remember pre-fishing it in almost the dead of winter, and it's one of those crazy lakes where those fish in the extremely cold weather get right up on the banks.
Yeah, they do. I don't fish a whole lot during the winter, but I know a lot of people have been complaining about the fish's size here this week that I've talked to. It's really hard to catch a 3-pounder, but I can tell you right now they're here. I don't know how to catch them, but they're here because you come out here from about December, maybe even November till about May, and you better have 16 plus. Maybe, even up to 21 to win. Wow. So, and it's the same, I don't know where they go. Nobody ever shows them to you this time of year. So
They're chasing them herring all out in the middle of the lake somewhere, I imagine.
Yeah, but that's the deal. If you can catch up to them, I mean, some of these guys that's really good with their sonars could put a hurting on you if they do find them.
Yep. Or Jason Hargett, our good friend, is probably drowning earthworms for him out in the middle of the lake somewhere.
I got a
shout out to Jason. What's up, buddy?
I got a question here with the where the hell is it? With the front we experience on Norman. How will you run the lake, David? And that comes from Pake Jarosnik. That's Pake,
man, I mean,
Pake Jarosnik.
I'm just going to cover it. Well, Jacob, I'm going to cover as much water as I can, and just hopefully I can run into them. Like I say, I hadn't had a really good practice at all. It's been really tough, but man, I'm just really hoping they show up for me and I can close this out.
Right on, man.
David, we're talking fall fishing, obviously, right now. When you talk about covering a lot of water, are you picking an area and your trolling motor going down until you run into them, or are you bouncing around, running and gunning, hitting little spots, trying to check the pulse of a lot of different places of the lake?
I'm going to cover a lot of different regions. I'll I may start lower end, then go to mid lake, and then work my way up, and then vice versa. And if I run into them, then I'll put my trolling motor down and kind of fish all of it.
Gotcha.
But until I do, I won't slow down. I'll hit the high percentage areas that I know of and work through them really quick and until I get bit, and just try to figure out where they come where they come up at. And until I hit that, I won't slow down much.
Talk to me about practice a little bit. Being we're shallow power fishing. Do you rig your baits with the hooks bent down because you're going to be catching them shallow? Do you set the hook at practice? How do you go through your practice when you figure you're going to spend a lot of time on the bank?
Well, if I get on something, I definitely will bend them down or cut them off. If I'm not on much, I'll try to catch a few. I want to see the size in the area.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to, find where the bigger fish are at, because, you can catch a lot of fish out there and not be around keepers. And so if you got your hooks cut off or bent down, you're not going to know. So I at least want to catch a few, and then I'll cut them off or bend them down usually, and just start marking where I get bites at. But I had that problem this week, so. But that's traditionally how I practice bite anywhere.
Okay, well, it's I know some shallow guys that, man, they won't even set the hook, and I'm like you. You got, especially a place like Lake Norman, like you said, there's so many short fish there that man, you got to dial into the size you're dealing with.
Yeah, absolutely. I learned that a long time ago at a place, Kerr Lake. They used to have tournaments up there a lot, and you go up there, and there were 2-pounders all over the lake, and people would get satisfied catching 2-pounders, even 2.5s. And until you found the 3.5s and 4s, you wasn't around the right quality fish. And you had to find that region where the bigger fish were at. And, everybody would come in with their 12 pounds, and you had to have that 17, 18, whatever. So you just got to have the right quality fish for the lake you're fishing. And somebody's going to catch them, so you got to find that size.
I'm intrigued by the double buzz that you throw. I've caught this many fish on a double bladed buzz bait. It's not something I throw. Why do you throw that? Why is that a better trigger? How does talk to me about why you have so much confidence in that bait?
Well, it's just the fact is you can just crawl it a lot slower. And keep it up. Most of the time when you're throwing a toad bait, like the horny toad on your buzz bait, you got to reel it so fast with a single blade, it'll kind of roll, it kind of roll over on you. With the double buzz, it'll run true. You can, and you don't have to reel it fast to stay up and run true. So you don't get that rollover or pull to the side. It'll track straight.
I gotcha. Whose bait is that? Is that a custom?
That's True South.
True South.
True South. Yeah.
And that's it looks like smaller size blades. Is that like
Yeah, they're a little small, tiny. But the good thing I like about his baits, look how far, you don't have to run a trailer hook. It comes out between the legs.
Right.
Ooh.
Yep. That's
But,
tiny.
yeah, that's
blades. Yeah.
I like it.
Hey, what's your promo code, Dave?
Don't have one. You have to talk to John about that. Call him up.
Come on.
Tell him you need some deals on those.
Yeah, hook us up.
We like them.
Yeah.
We like them.
Dave Williams sent us.
I know. Does Tackle Warehouse have them?
No, he's a custom lure maker, and so it's basically you can call him up and tell him you want. You can tell him you want 5 arms on it. He'll make you want 5 arms on it. So whatever, he'll make them however you like them. If you want some, whatever you want. I mean, he'll kind of do it for you. So.
Yeah.
We met him at the Cash and Rods tour day that we did down in Sanford. I guess it was 2 years ago now, maybe 3 years ago when we fished that tournament. You caught like an 8.5 pounder that day.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Thank you for helping us all remember that. That was awesome. No, that was great, and go check that out. And I like that. I like that buzzbait because a lot of the double buzzes I've used have big blades. They're so big and ostentatious. In other words, I'm rolling them out tonight.
Pete's vocabulary.
Question from Pete's vocabulary on the IM board. They're so big and just aggressive that I love the tiny little blades on that one. So we'll go check it out. But JK, I know you have some rapid fire. For the shallow water power angler that's about to qualify for the elites. Dave, if you'll bear with us, JK's got some rapid fire questions for you. You think you're ready for this?
Probably not.
Well, welcome to the Bass University Rapid Fire with Professional Fish Head. You, by signing up to participate in this rapid fire, David, you have agreed to tell the truth, nothing but the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. So here we go. I'm going to give you a time of year and a lake, or it could be a river. I'm going to give you a time of year, a body of water. You are going to not ask for conditions. This isn't going to be, well, it could be this or this. You're going to tell me the technique, the power fishing technique, because we know I did not put anything on your schedule that should require a spinning rod for you. 95% of his fish, guys, power fishing. That's just unreal.
That's a big
it's commitment.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's consistent as he is. Anyways, so I want to hear how you expect to catch them, and specifically key in on the technique and the type of cover. You don't have to go into too much detail. You can go into as much detail as you'd like. But I've put together a whole season schedule for you. So I'm going to give you, again, the type of, or the month, the body of water. You name the cover and the power fishing technique that you are expecting to catch them on. You ready?
All right.
All right. We're going to start in January and take you down to the Kissimmee chain out of Lake Toho.
Probably a bladed jig would be.
Around what cover?
Grass.
Do they have any other kind of cover down there, JK?
Huh?
Is there any other cover in Kissimmee?
Grass. Is it hydrilla or is it bank grass? I mean, I don't know.
I like my favorites like the little arrowheads or the reed grass, stuff like that.
Ooh, yeah.
See, now we got something.
Sauces.
Like,
yeah.
Arrowheads.
Where they spawn. They spawn in the arrowheads.
Yep. All right, David, next on the schedule, we're going up in February. We're going to Lake Gunnersville in February. What you got for us?
Man, I would probably crawl a jig around somewhere on some some rocks or some around some grass lines or something like that. Bladed jig too. I mean, yeah. But you said one thing. I mean,
yeah, that's great. So when you say rock, do you mean like the riprap or like some natural rock?
Yeah. I mean, I think every fish in Lake Guntersville lives on the bridges that time of year, don't they?
Seems that way.
It seems that way. I mean,
there you go. Now, to be fair, I did not use this lake in the fall, but we're going to go to your home lake, Lake Norman, in March. Talk to me about March on Lake Norman.
Actually, probably like a square bill crankbait. And they're probably going to be on some red clay somewhere. I mean,
yeah.
Let me dive into that. Why red clay?
It heats up quickest.
It heats up the quickest.
Ding, ding. Yep. That's awesome. That's the good stuff right there, guys. And I'm trying to avoid the spawn for you because we know we don't want to talk about bed fishing or when the 5% of the time you might throw a drop shot. So I thought through that. And so I'm going to take you a little further north to Kerr Lake or Carr. I don't know how you guys say it in April.
We say Bugs.
Bugs Island. Okay, whatever. And April, you're going up to Kerr.
I'm probably going to be. I'm going to be swimming a jig or throwing a spinnerbait.
A swim bait? What kind of swim bait?
No, a spinnerbait. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Okay, spinnerbait.
Either a spinnerbait or swimming a jig.
On what?
Swimming a jig around what?
Bushes.
Well, what if the water? What if the water levels? Say it's at 298 or 299.
It's not in the bushes. You mean?
Yeah.
You're probably gonna have to find banks with stumps on it, stuff like that.
Cool. Good stuff. The bush.
What section of the lake?
Can you send Riz some waypoints?
Dave, can you draw a map on your napkin?
We love that lake, by the way.
Yeah, I wish they'd have some more tournaments up there.
Me too.
Yeah, it was a freaking cool lake, man.
Yeah, we got to step up Henderson.
You can really spread out.
And it patterns so well. I had more fun fishing that lake catching my little 12 pounds a day to make the state team than I think I did anywhere else this year, just because it was new. Yeah. And it was such a big lake, and it you could just run down a bank and look and be like, yep, I'm gonna catch one there, there, and there.
To us, Dave and JK. Kerr Reservoir and Lake Gaston is really the reservoir. It's the only thing close to a southern reservoir that we have in our region. So it's where we get a little taste of what you guys get to fish all year long.
Yeah, actually the very first major tournament I ever fished was on Kerr Lake. It was back in 1996. It was Jerry Ryan's Fisherman's Bass Circuit.
I remember those.
Yeah, me and Robbie Dye actually fished it together, and neither one of us had ever been there. And we went up there and won the tournament by over 5 pounds and won a brand new Ranger boat in my first professional tournament or first major tournament ever. And I was like, man, this is gonna be easy. I got this. About 10 years later, I was still waiting to win my second boat.
So. That's awesome. So many people have a similar story than that. You spent 10 years dumping every dollar you had and every moment you had into fishing.
Yep. That's all it takes. It's one good event. You're done.
You're toast.
True statement.
That's great stuff.
All right, so let's move to May. We'll go early May at Lake Hartwell, my favorite lake in the country.
Probably a topwater. I mean, it's hard to beat. Hard to beat some kind of topwater in May.
What do you mean, like a walking bait or a buzz bait? What are you talking about?
I actually like to throw like a Rico type bait a lot. I I try to stay away from what everybody else does.
Mm-hmm. And what type of cover are you throwing that Rico around?
I throw it around, I'll throw it around points and docks. So anything, I try to stay shallow and then cover water. And is anywhere I can find some cover with, something's got a little shade on it.
Awesome. Good stuff. Post spawn fish relating to the shade.
Yep, I've been getting a lot of shade on this side of the table from BTC tonight.
It's just another
So
Tuesday night, folks.
We're going to make our way north in June. We're going back up to Lake Chickamauga. What you doing at Chickamauga in June there, David?
Most of the time I'm either going to be probably swimming a jig, or throwing some kind of top water there. And it's going to be either on docks or on bluffy style banks. Man, they have some awesome mayfly hatches there. So I like getting on the top water on the mayflies, and it's a really good time of year to do it there.
What kind of top water?
Rico.
Yeah.
Is the full size Rico or the smaller one?
I'll throw the big one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's great stuff. All right, now we're going way north. I'm going to take you up to Lake Champlain in July.
Justin, is this your schedule next year? Are you fishing anything on these?
Well played.
I can't, guys. A lot of these places and these times of year are when David has cashed some big checks.
Yes.
I was trying to make it easy for him.
And
so when he's
So should I be saying stuff like a Ned rig?
No, not allowed.
Senko.
Yep. It's that, and it's also the NPFL's 2022 schedule.
No, I'll if I'm going to Champlain, I'm going to be throwing a spook or some kind of walking bait,
Around
most of the
what?
time.
Amen.
Some type of walking bait, like a spook or some kind of,
Like a spook. Talk to me. What kind of walking bait you throw?
Some kind of walking bait, like I throw a Duo Realis pencil a lot. I throw, I'll throw a spook, the one knocker. I'll throw a couple different ones. Just try to try to mix up some different ones. But I'll be, fishing any kind of grass or, pretty much what everybody else does. Just I want to keep a top water in my hands.
Good stuff. So, where are you throwing that around? You throwing it around like grassy stuff, or
Yeah, typically grass, and if you can find a place where the grass and has an edge or a hole or like a hard spot or something like that.
Awesome. So we're gonna skip August because August sucks, and we're gonna go. I'm gonna give you a couple in September. We're gonna go back down to your region and go a little southerly to Clark's Hill in September. Talk to me.
Man, that can be a tough time of year, but I think I've done pretty well there on like a little prop bait and stuff that time of year. I remember catching some on I actually found I was there one time and I found a crazy shad floating, and that's a pretty old bait. I don't know if they even make it anymore, but I tied it on. I think I finished like top 10 there one time, but I've caught fish, a lot of fish there on a whopper plopper and stuff like that time of year. So it's it's a top water deal for me there then too.
And that's shallow. Is it like around hard cover or like bluegill beds or what?
I like finding them around a lot of like blowdown trees and stuff like that.
Nice. All right, I'm going to keep you in September again. This one's totally selfish, so you're welcome to my guys in my region. But Lake Lanier, September, keeping it in September. Lake Lanier, where I'm headed to this weekend.
Well, I'm gonna be throwing a buzzbait probably and flipping a jig around. So, and anytime I'm going somewhere this time of year, it's all about covering water till you run into them. So,
if Hope, Runnel, and Bluebird, are you still going to do that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a little tougher to get. It's tougher to get bites that way, but I'm going to do it till I get around them anyway, and then I'm going to slow down more with the jig.
Right. What kind of cover are you looking for?
Really no certain type of thing that time of year. You can be going down the bank and just the flat banks and it may not have nothing on it. They'll just kind of swim together in little groups, just little wolf packs and just keep moving until you hit a wolf pack.
Awesome stuff, man. Now we're going to go back up to that tidal stuff. We're going to the Potomac River in October. You're welcome, Pete.
Thanks for taking care of me, JK.
Can I carry my muzzleloader with me up there?
Sure.
Might have to.
What are you shooting? Turkeys up here? You deer hunting? What are you doing?
Oh man, there's all kind of bucks up there. What are you talking about?
I guess there is down around Mattawoman and Nanjamoy. There's some amazing land down there.
Yeah, very, very true. But that's going to be probably a bladed jig. I mean, throw that bladed jig around some grass and man, hopefully you run into them, because that can be a tough pond that time of year.
Yes, sir. We're expecting that. But thank you for asking that question, JK.
Yeah, good stuff. Bladed jig. All right, so now we're going back to a lake we already been to on the schedule, and it's selfish again, not really for anything on the schedule, but because it's been a great time of year at a great place, probably really meaningful for you as it is me, because we both won big at this time of year in BFL competition. But November at Lake Hartwell, the site of your BFL regional win.
That time of year I caught most of them on the spinnerbait.
Wow, really?
Spinnerbait. Come on.
Tell us.
Yeah, just like I say, I build my own spinnerbaits, and that's, I was able to find a good spinnerbait bite up shallow, and that, I caught them really well that event doing that.
Was anybody else in the tournament throwing a spinnerbait on the bank?
I don't think there was.
Wow.
My dad was. He was there. He caught quite a few like that too.
Did you key in on a specific piece of cover, or were you just covering water?
Ain't just anything had some wind on it.
Great little tip there. All right, man, we're gonna round this out. This is a 12 tournament deal, and I milked you, and this is awesome. Thanks for being a good sport, David. December on the St. Johns River.
Oh, I've never been there in December.
I don't know.
All right, so we've never been to the St. Johns River. We're gonna change the location for you then. How about that? I don't want.
I've been to St. Johns, just never in December.
Oh, okay. Well, I can give you another. I can give you another spot. You want a different?
I mean, I can do either way.
Well, what would you expect to be doing down there at the St. Johns in December, even though you've never been there that time of year?
I'd probably be covering water with a bladed jig and a Magnum speed worm.
Wow, a Magnum speed worm. And are you buzzing that thing around on top or flipping it around? What are you doing?
I just like to crawl it through the grass, just anywhere we can find some grass or some pads or something like that, just kind of crawl it through them. I mean, that's pretty much what everybody does in Florida, but it works. I got my butt kicked many times with it.
That's awesome. Well, guys, we heard a lot of common denominators, and as far as the business end on what his tools are in this rapid fire it shows us exactly who David Williams is. You know, a jig, spinner bait, bladed jig, buzz bait, Mr. Wire bait, you know, like Mr. Jig bait, single hook. I'm getting them in the boat. Do you boat flip most of your fish, David?
Absolutely. I hate, I hate trying to mess with a net or wrapping them up, by your hand or anything like that. So if I can throw heavy enough line, I can get the advantage on them. I'll flip them in.
BTC, what do you got?
Got a question from Epic Eric. Since David mentioned one crankbait, a square bill, what is that go-to crankbait? Balsa, plastic, details?
I mean, I like, there's several different ones I like, but one of the main ones I like is the Duo Realis. They make the Apex. It's a square bill, but like a crawfish color.
Okay.
And if you throw any square bill in crawfish color that, in the spring of the year, you're going to be throwing the right thing.
Mm.
Well, JK, nicely done on the rapid fire. Recovered from north to south, everywhere in between, with one of the most talented power fishermen out there. And David, thank you so much for hanging out with us on your practice week. Let me ask you this: Are you going to fish tomorrow? Tomorrow's the last day of practice. Are you going out? Or are you just going to sit back? Or what's your strategy?
Yeah, I'm probably going to go back out. I've like I say, I've been kind of struggling, so I'm going to go try to cover some different water and kind of see what happens. The only reason I wouldn't go out is they're actually calling for some thunderstorms sometime. If it gets pretty rough, I won't. But we can only fish till noon, so got to be a pretty short day.
Yeah, it is a really short day. Give me a call if you need more time. I can call Chris Bowes. Maybe I can get you an extra hour out there.
Sounds good.
Well, I wish you the best, and thanks so much. We're gonna let you go, get some rest, get up early. I know it's only a 20-minute drive to the launch ramp. I can't imagine a pro tournament where
life's tough for him.
20 minutes to the launch ramp.
Well, these guys that live in East Texas and stuff, they get like 2 or 3 a year on their home lake, so
that's bias, right?
It's horrible.
Yeah,
that's crap.
Not about it.
We should have like Delaware River.
Yeah, let's do it.
People around here won't even fish the Delaware River. Greg, when's the last time you fished the Delaware?
Yesterday.
Stop it.
Yeah.
You lie.
Make the Delaware River great again.
I make it great. Make it great at least once.
Hey, news update on that, Pete. Talked to our boy Craig Duran today.
Yeah.
Eco Bass Angler. I got the picture on my phone, but the Delaware River Cleanup Fund,
any other pictures on your phone?
The Estuary Association just got a $25 million grant to help clean up the river, and a lot of that is going to be used for the freshwater mussels to create mussel beds to help to clean up the water quality on the Delaware.
Maybe stocking of the tiger bass or something.
Something, yeah.
Come on, CD.
Yep.
Get involved. Get us some bass.
Lack of fish is not a problem out there.
Hey, Dave, thank you so much. I'm going to let you go. I know you got to get some rest. You got to practice tomorrow. Thanks so much for being with us. I appreciate you. Wish you the best of luck. We're all going to be rooting for you and watching you at the weigh-in on Thursday night. The great David Williams. Thank you, man.
Thanks,
I
Dave.
appreciate y'all having me. It was an honor.
Elite Series 2022.
Thanks.
Elite Series 2022. I like it. All right. Good night, buddy. Good night, buddy. Great job, JK, with the rapid fire and just a lot of cool stuff. It's really interesting to me that here's a guy that looks away like Tommy Biffle said, or like Greg Hackney said. Never been a better time to be a shallow water angler.
True.
He's back.
Never been a better time, and everybody's out, forward facing, looking for offshore habitat. Man, you can get up shallow and you can catch the big ones when nobody's looking.
Yep.
Yep. Makes you think, right?
No, it does. It does. It does. I'm trying to learn all I can offshore, and I'm probably making a mistake. But I'm not making a mistake. I think I think to be well-rounded is still a very good thing at the Elite Series level.
No doubt.
Well-rounded,
You know.
but stick to your strengths.
Stick to your strengths.
How do you balance that?
Greg Hackney, you just do what you do, and that's it.
Yeah, it's strategy, right? Is it a better strategy for me to just go on the bank, or is it a better strategy for me to be offshore trying to find the schools of fish? It's like, what are your strengths? What are you most capable of?
Yeah.
And I got the best thing, and I've said this before, and it's like talking about the Black Senko, but
Oh, here we go.
find out like where you've been most successful. Like constantly look at that.
Yep.
Constantly revisit where you're successful, and recognize that, wait a minute, where I thought I might be strong is maybe not it. I may be strong over here.
Yep.
The Carolina region.
Yep.
Or
live bait.
Worms.
Real strong.
Like I dominated at the
No, you didn't.
I did.
What did you win?
I won biggest ancillary fish.
Ancillary.
I don't know what that even means.
You trying to say miscellaneous?
Miscellaneous.
Ancillary. We're getting a little carried away with the
That's
vocabulary
outstanding,
tonight, folks.
by the way.
Ancillarious.
And somebody on the YouTube chimed in with precipice on the brink of destruction or disaster or something like that.
Yes. That's why we have to close the show before that happens. Destruction's about to go down.
We've been celebrating precipice all night. It's not a great thing.
Well, it was a great show. It was really cool to have GDP in studio, and going to be rooting for you next year.
Same for you guys. Root for you guys always.
I ain't doing none.
Here you are. You're
What?
BTC. It's hard to keep up.
I'm doing a lot.
You're doing a 2-day this weekend.
I can't freaking wait.
Dude,
so how
where
dare
can
you
we
ask
watch
me?
it?
Well, you can't watch it anywhere. But why would you ask me before the week before the event? Oh, yeah, so what are you going to be doing? I mean, I can't give that up.
Yes,
You want all of us to give everything up.
David Williams
Yeah, but
just
now-
gave up what he's going to be doing on Lake Norman at a Bassmaster Open.
He's got wins.
But he's trying to get
He's got wins to give away. David Williams.
The weird thing is like, the more open and honest you are around everybody, it never seems to hurt you.
Because nobody believes you.
Well,
The opposite.
Honestly,
Yeah.
they think, oh, it's BTC's not shooting me straight. They
How
just
dare you?
It's interesting. It brings up a whole interesting dynamic on how much you share with guys at practice versus what you don't. I roomed with Rob Jordan and
Love Rob Jordan.
And I can't believe it.
Brian Latimer.
And we didn't
Well done,
talk.
Rich.
We didn't talk. Thank you. We didn't talk during practice on Champlain. Generally speaking, like everybody kind of kept their own thing. Whereas at Lake Oneida, we all kind of talked, And I don't know which one's better, which one's worse.
I don't know either.
I think if you got a group or, a couple people that you truly trust and you will actually work together, I think it helps. I think it helps a
The
lot.
Johnston brothers have proven that.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
They hate each other, but they trust.
It's got to be it really has to be there. And like to what you're just saying about like telling people people not believing you. I found anymore, if somebody asks me, I just tell them straight up. I tell them exactly what it is, what I'm doing, how it's going, because I know in my head they're not going to believe me either way. So it's easier for me to just like, know that I'm
this
keeping
year
it 100.
I'm going to tell the truth.
Yeah, it's just easier that way, and that's
that
how
will
you
fool
build
everybody.
That's how you build trust with certain people.
Riz,
And
are you in love?
Come on, man. And I'm in love with bass fishing. Exactly what we're talking about.
She's watching.
Seriously, it really does. It really helps when you got people that you can work with, because you never know when it's going to really make the difference.
Is she watching really?
No, probably not. No,
maybe
she's got work tomorrow, so she's probably already.
She's watching. but it is hard. You got to find that right working relationship that benefits everybody. Like I've said, I love Mike, but God Almighty, he's always catching them. And it frustrates you as somebody that's rooming with them because you're like, good God Almighty, I got 2 bites today, and you got 5 schools of fish that you found today, and you get so spun out trying to chase that, you know.
Yeah.
But he always shoots you straight, like he always just comes right at you with it, but. He's just never had a bad practice day, and I hate that about him.
Shit. We had 2 out of 4 bad practice days. I witnessed them. I
lived them.
I survived them. I mean, there was ups, there was downs. It was a roller coaster. Well, tell me you never had a bad practice day.
Dude, tell me about the bad practice day.
Well,
I haven't heard about those.
Well, he pretty much got
I was
stuck.
about to say, I practiced with never seen it. Never.
I've seen it.
I have. I've seen it too.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
No, it was, he had to go out for day 5 and put it all back together, but yeah.
He did it.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, no, it's not. Dude, they don't kill it every time.
I know, but it just seems like that because it's such a struggle. It's so emotional. You're out there trying to win, trying to compete, and it's very difficult. But I've always tried to shoot straight, like you said, Riz. I shoot people straight. I talk. Brian always lies, so
Dude,
that's
how dare
the
you.
deal. And he always accuses you of lying, so that's coming. So you kind of know what you're dealing with there.
Anybody who says they're shooting you straight,
see,
just keep throwing that shake.
Right?
Yeah. Oh no, I shoot you straight.
Sanko.
Why do you got to say that?
Sanko.
What are you covering up for?
JK, what about you? I mean, do you shoot straight? Do you lie? What?
I lie. I just, if you're in my inner circle, like, I think you got to keep your circle, with tournament fishing. Like, you got to have that circle, the guys you trust. But I'll shoot you straight. But if you're not in my circle, like, don't come knocking. Like, we talk later, and I shoot straight on the show after events, surely, because
don't come knocking.
I just don't. I don't care about giving it up anymore after the fact, because 9 times out of 10 next year at that same time on that same body of water, it ain't going down.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's completely different, So.
But also, JK's move is, I got one for you. What do you got for me?
Is that his move?
Oh, yeah. I've seen him work.
Yep.
He said, hold on a second. And he's got a chip in his hand. He says, I'll show you my card. You show me yours. It's a good move.
Oh, my God.
That's fair.
I am not a dot acquirer.
It's not dots. It's just techniques, a little sneaky stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I've been like that my whole life. I want to know how to catch a bass 778 different ways.
Hell yeah,
I love it.
Same here.
But it's crazy with this job and everything that's gone down. Like, in the last 3 weeks, and I'm not saying this as this is going to make me sound like I'm some source, but it just has caught me off guard when 3 or 4 professional anglers call me out of the blue and been like, hey man, you remember you catching them on this, or you telling me about, saying this, how did you do that? What'd you rig it out on? They're like, I'm just laughing. I'm like, dude, like, I need to be calling you, but it's kind of, I guess it's kind of cool. Luke Duncan, shout out to him. He called me the other day. He only calls when he needs something, and, he said as much. I love you, Luke. But yeah, Steve, he did, and I got something else out of him. You darn right we traded.
Damn right.
You darn right.
I know how you work.
That's
awesome.
Keep it right.
It's good
Luke's
stuff.
a good source, man. He's fishing all the time.
Well, we have a trivia question.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let's roll that out.
Yeah, we do. And guys, also after this trivia question, there's going to be a Facebook like and share. So if you haven't liked and shared tonight's feed yet, you still got time. Get over there, get it shared. And
tonight's trivia question.
Yeah.
How long has Greg DiPalma dated Kelly before he asked her to marry him?
You have a true number on this?
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right, let's go with yours.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know.
That's
6 years, 3 months,
Nah,
24
days.
days.
A little higher than that.
What?
You put 11.
11?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
11.
damn.
Good night.
Damn.
All right. Tonight's Tonight's trivia question for all you tackle junkies out there. One of the techniques that David talked about early on in the rapid fire questions was a chatterbait. What brand chatterbait is it that David is throwing? It's not your typical chatterbait.
It's not.
What brand chatterbait is David Williams tying on when he's going to sling the bladed jig?
I remember
Let's
it
hear
has a tungsten head.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the name.
Oh, you're not supposed to know.
Don't remember the brand. All right.
So that's it. Yeah.
All right, weigh in, guys, and
I need the brand and the name of the bait, guys. The brand and the name of the bait.
And go subscribe.
same
If you're
text.
still watching and haven't subscribed, go over to bashu.tv and get yourself signed up. We've got some amazing content that is being released every single week.
Boom,
Been
got a winner.
Been out with some great subscribers this week. Seen Bass University hats and logos everywhere I've been on the water. It's great. Thank you guys for being part of the program. We have a winner already?
Got a winner already. Yep. These guys stay dialed, man. These guys stay dialed.
ready.
It was quick. It was Paulie B, and I'm thinking that might be our buddy Paul Batters from down around Northeast River. I'm not sure though. But Paulie B with the correct answer of the Queen Tackle Switchblade. Queen
Yeah.
Tackle Switchblade.
I got a question.
What do you got?
This comes from the YouTube. Hellabass on the YouTube. Does their dating predate the Black Senko? Great question. It's got to be right around the same time.
No.
What?
Can't be.
No.
When did Senko come out?
When?
Yeah.
01.
No.
Am I wrong? I don't know. I'm just guessing.
01?
It's early
Had to-
2000s.
Had to be close to that.
Yeah.
I would guess you're right.
I
don't
lost
know.
track of time. I stopped counting.
I don't know. Why
Yeah.
guess
All right,
8
well, here's a
months?
question. Which number is higher? The number of fish, the record number of fish Jeff Kolozinski caught in his Marathon Man.
I sense shade coming my way, but go ahead.
It's coming, but maybe not your way. Or the number of days Kelly waited for that ring and waited.
It seems like the number of days Kelly waited, like to 11 years.
I'm gonna go.
That's over 3,000 days.
Well,
Is this a true question?
yeah.
What was the question now?
Is Kelly watching?
Probably.
The Guinness Book of World Records number of fish that Jeff Kolozinski caught in his Marathon Man contest.
In a 24-hour period?
In a 24-hour period. I got the number right here.
There's no way he beat 3,000. Really?
You don't know Colo.
You don't know
Colo's the man.
I got the number right here. With the number of
24
days
hours.
that Kelly waited disappointed.
How many days? So how many? Okay, let me do the math real quick.
Good, do some math.
I already know it.
Do you?
Can I answer this question? I already did.
Oh, you did already?
I got Colo's number.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, well, I got Kelly's number too. 11 years.
Did you got Kelly's number?
Yeah.
Let me get Kelly's number.
Way over.
4,000? 4,000 days of disappointment?
4,015.
So Kelly's the champ.
Kelly's
Hope you're watching, Kel.
Shout out to Kel.
Crushed Colo by like 30%.
Crushed him.
Crushed him. Jeff merely caught 3,168 fish in
Wow.
a 24-hour span.
That's amazing.
And
What kind of
Kelly
fish were
wasted
they?
an entire quarter of her life.
Best years of her life. Baby.
She's winning now. When is the date?
December 10th, hunting season. Keep everybody away.
Hunting what?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, December 10th.
December 10th.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
It's very exciting.
Thanks, Brian.
Big fan.
Congratulations, Kelly. Well
That's
done.
right.
Look forward to hearing about the nuptials. It'd be awesome.
The nuptials.
Are you going to have special? Are you going to write your own vows? Or are you going to be?
Yeah, I think we actually are.
Is the Elite Series going to be mentioned in the vows at any time?
No. Cisco's going to be there.
Really?
Yeah.
Cisco, like
Thong.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're laughing.
I was thinking Q-tip.
He's going to be live?
Yeah, he'll be live. He'll be there.
That's awesome.
It's going to be a good time.
Very good. What else do we have, BTC?
Facebook Like and Share.
Like and Share?
Yeah.
Yep. We got a Facebook Like and Share tonight for Bass University Live is Paul Garrett. Congratulations, Paul Garrett.
Paul Garrett.
Paul Garrett. You know him?
Big Sexy?
Well, Paul Garrett is the winner of tonight's Facebook Like and Share.
I haven't seen Big Sexy for a while.
That's my man, Big Sexy.
Really?
Hell yeah.
All right. Paul Garrett, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
My man.
You won tonight's Facebook Like and Share.
Miss that guy.
Yep. Thank you for liking and sharing us, Paul, and thanks everybody else for doing that. Thanks for everybody else. Thanks, Dave Williams, JK.
Yes, JK.
Thank you for your rapid fire.
Yes.
Thanks, Kelly,
Pleasure.
for putting up with our nonsense. And
Thanks,
this
Kelly.
guy.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, Cisco. And we will be back next Tuesday.
Yes.
Can you make an announcement?
Yes, let me take it over from here, Peter.
Okay.
So next Tuesday, we got Jody Queen from the Kayak World is going to come on and talk to us. And this Thursday, we have an Ike Live show.
Excellent.
That's right. And Peter's going to be in studio.
In studio.
Yes, you are.
In
Look at him.
spirit or for real? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. But yeah, Ike Live show this Thursday. Going to be a big show. Guys, check it out. There's a bunch of surprises coming. There's a bunch of stuff Mike don't even know about coming. So I'll talk to you, Pete.
Yeah,
it's going to be fun.
And give a shout out to Dave Mansu, currently in 7th place in the BFLs, out in whatever division is in Missouri, the Ozark division, I think. Mansu. And who's winning out there, JK?
I think James Watson.
James
was leading
Watson.
What?
Whopper Plopper boy is
Plopper
dominating out there in first place. Mansu's in 7th. And I want to give Mansu credit. Mansu has been successful. He fished the top 100s, top 150s, fished at the top level here, moved to Texas, won and advanced there in all the Texas divisions and the Everstarts and Toyotas, and now he's doing well over in the Ozarks.
Pretty good.
Well-rounded.
Did he move again?
Young man. Yeah, he's in Missouri.
Yeah,
He moved to Missouri?
Yep. He lives near Table Rock with next to Chad Morgenthaler.
Oh, really?
Yep.
So he's not near Denny anymore over
Let
in
me
Texas?
go ahead.
No. What do you got? Denny's down in South Texas on Amistad. What do you got, JK?
I'm just going to say, BFL divisions are obviously, they're all tough. You got the best locals showing up at each event, and then you got the guys that travel around. It's usually the best in the region or the state.
And then you got James Watson.
Well, Watson's just going after it because he's never done it, and he was really wanting to win at the BFL. His first 2 finishes this year were a 2nd and 3rd, and then he finally got a win. So his first 3
and then
BFLs
he got another win after that. Yep.
Dude, Watson's on fire this year.
How about it?
Respect for him because the BFLs are no joke, especially that region. Yeah. Like, I'll put my region up in the Bulldogs against anybody. I think that's one of the toughest group of anglers. And whenever we get a lot of guys in an All-American, they show out. But that Ozark region, every single year they get guys to that All-American, and they show out. Yeah. Like, it is one of the toughest regions. There's 28 or 32 divisions in the BFL, and those Ozark guys are incredible. And I've fished with them before, and they are. And I'm not throwing shade at any other division, but I'm telling you, those Ozark guys are something special. They catch them all over the place.
Second only to the Northeast division.
That's right. You heard it here first.
Maybe we'll have an All-American in the Northeast division at some time in the next century. We haven't had one yet, I don't think.
Does Kelly wear a XXX shirt?
Well,
That she does, Brian.
We're going to have 3 cracks at it, Pete. You're going to be fishing a regional next month. I'm fishing a regional.
Yeah.
Our pal Reed is going to be fishing the regional.
Is Mike in it too? Awesome. Yeah. Shout out. Hey, Mike.
Hey, regionals for everyone.
Yeah.
Yep. So we got some, man. I say we all go get a top 6, and we'll all travel together, have a good time. That'd
Dude,
be
we
fun-
got to have
fun
the
trip.
Bash U, the All-American Bash U house with all the Bash U qualifiers. That would be pretty cool.
No, I'm left out again.
Insane, and it's insanely hard to get there. It's so hard to get there.
I'm too busy working.
And
I'll
fishing.
never get there.
And not working.
Not catching them. Working and not catching them.
Well, good to. Hey guys, thanks everybody for watching. Really enjoyed tonight's show. Thank you, GDP.
Yeah, thank you guys.
And guys, thanks everybody. And we're going to be back next Tuesday night, 7 p.m. with another Bash University Live. And check us out Thursday night. Ike Live is going to be at 7 p.m.
8.
8.
Yes.
8 p.m.
It might be 9. We don't really know, but it's going to be sometime on Thursday night.
It's going to be a fun one.
Thursday night, Ike Live. And, guys, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next week. I'm Pete Gluzak for Bash University. Good night, everybody.
Greg, you want to say something?
I'll be home soon.
Shoot, what are we rolling out to, Rich? That?